it was like, because when he still was just using this one, he
And
said,
we're streaming because YouTube is stupid.
of course it is. But when Shafiro was using the Sony
Oh shoot, we're
A7R2,
streaming and I didn't change the damn topics
you
because I was
didn't.
worried about this goddamn promo.
Is anybody watching?
No, not yet, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let me change them real quick. I didn't share it yet.
About to go to the channel. Yeah.
Tory Lames.
Right. What I got something. I got something for him, but I also got something for niggas. Because niggas get on my fucking nerves. They really did. Niggas get on my fucking nerves. Their priorities is fucked up, which is why we fucked up. Okay. All righty then.
I'm just going to shorten it BW just so I can get the word March in. Like woman. No, that's not how you spell that.
I don't believe that's how that's spelled.
Shoosh.
That's definitely not how it's spelled. Yeah, just saying.
You saw that?
The Gale shit. Yeah. Shit was ass.
All right, so now let me finish this goddamn promo. We have 2 people watching. One of them is you.
And one of them is you.
No, I don't count.
You do count. You know how to count. You've been counting.
Shut up.
Sorry.
Shoosh. Join us. HTTPS.
I might. Hold up. You added pictures with your thingy, right?
I didn't post it yet, but yes,
okay,
that's what
right.
that is what I'm going to be doing.
The moment you post that, I think I'm gonna share yours so that those is consistent.
Word. /KNA K7QY REX4. And then add the pictures. Share. And uploading. Come on, Facebook, you can do it. Upload it. Upload the countries. Now, back to Facebook.
The book.
Pages. Yeah. All right. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Ooh, them photos look clean.
This guy's ass.
Yo, honestly, this is going. I was telling Shafril, I am absolutely validated in my thought process that if I had the best of the best from the beginning, I would not ever have gotten as good as I am. Because the shit that I just did that took me to 3.5 minutes from photo to post.
Right.
And these photos
that shit look amazing.
Come on, my guy. Now, amazing. I'm not going to let this, because I'm already war tested as far as editing goes. So I'm not gonna let this change my editing style. But
of course
my
not.
God. My God, just this little quick whoop picture, transfer the phone, put in Snapseed, filter, change a couple settings,
right,
post. What?
right.
Oh, quality of life. Quality of that is the main thing.
That is
with this damn upgrade. Quality of life.
There are numerous quality of life changes. You said, and it's like you already had a certain level of quality in the beginning that you could get out of that camera that you had all these years. But now that you have cutting edge, like camera, now all of those skills you learned to make a picture look great on your old camera will make a picture look absolutely jarring on a new camera.
You know the best way I just thought of to describe it?
What's that?
All those YouTube videos that I watched now make sense.
Yeah.
Make complete sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not no, this doesn't look exactly like that. I need it. There's some way I must be missing something. No. All of them now make complete sense. Like, okay, this is what happens. This is what you're supposed to do. And when you do that, this is the result you get.
That's right.
Every time.
That's right. All that shit makes sense now.
Yes. I was telling somebody like, yo, I had this other camera for almost 5 years and it was old when I got it. So
yeah. Fact.
This came out a couple weeks ago. So I am an absolute happy camper.
You're right now at the cutting edge. I've never been at the cutting edge of camera technology. You know what I'm saying? Now, by the time
phone camera,
definitely.
Phone camera.
But by the time the Sony, by the time I got hands on this, they was about to upgrade to matter of fact, I think they had already upgraded to the A7R3. Right. So I was never on the cutting edge of it, but I'm one of the people that believe that yes, the cutting edge is great to have because there's a bunch of new features for you to fuck with. But the technology of these cameras are at the point now where you can get older model cameras and the footage is gonna still look good, pictures gonna still look good. So these more cutting edge cameras are for people I consider true photographers, true videographers who do more than just hobby this shit out. This is stuff that they need for their content, and they actually are into this shit coming out the way they need it to come out. They have plans. They're like that. That's what the cutting edge stuff is. Now, the average person can go and get a 5-year-old camera, 6-year-old camera, and the footage would be great. And they're also great training cameras. You know, they're great for training. I learned so much with this Canon T6i,
bruh.
So much.
All that I am, I owe to my Canon T6i.
Right. So the idea of giving it away, I'm nah.
Oh no, that's still gonna be very much here. It's not really gonna. It's not like gonna go on shoots with me as much, but no, it still has a place.
Got to.
Absolutely. Lest we forget. I will not.
Lest we forget.
All right, share this, share that, share it to my timeline. Let me see my timeline. Face bickety. Oh, the buttery smoothness.
Yes. The buttery smoothness. It's all butter, baby.
You know how much I would have had to go through to put these pictures up before I got this camera?
Yes.
I would have had to use my phone probably.
Yep. And
because taking that off of the Yeah. I absolutely would have had to use my phone.
Yeah, you would have been mad too. Like you'd have looked at the quality of it.
And well, you know what? Fuck this.
Yeah, yo, everything is relative. Like, so if you don't have a reference for something else, whatever you have seems great. I remember before I had any sort of a DSLR or anything, like it was about the camera phones, right? So I would get these and had these specced out really good. And I'm looking at the specs going, now this should get me the cinematic shit I've been looking for.
Word.
Yeah, no. That's
not quite how that works.
It wasn't quite how it works. But what's crazy is learning how to use DSLR helped me to be able to get more of a cinematic look from phones. It helped me to do that because I understood I learned what it took to get it to look like that.
Yeah.
So you do those extra things with the phone, and even if you blend it in with the other footage, it's about the amount you use. It really is. Like I have slid in camera phone footage in with DSLR, and nobody knew the difference. It's a great supplemental. What's that?
I have 1080 120. Yeah. Because when you just said using the phone footage and adding that in, I'm like, hold on. I have 1080 120. I can implement slow motion, proper slow motion.
Yep.
Whew.
Yo, the first you already know you was there the first time I realized we could do that shit. I get like slow motion. Like, what now? Now it's a little different for you because not only do you have the slow motion thing, you also have in-body stabilization.
Yeah,
which is another reason to hate you. But also, when I saw the test footage, you just la la la. I'm walking and I'm talking. I'm walking and I'm talking. Nothing's shaking back and forth.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at this shit. Look at this. Look at this sheet. That all of that adds to a more cinematic look, right?
Absolutely.
When the camera isn't, when it's not looking like you. What's the name of that? Like, it's not looking like you in that movie Cloverfield and shit.
Right.
Or the Blair Witch shit.
Found footage.
Shaking all right. Like shit.
Nah, guy.
Nah, that shit looked and again, you didn't do any like when Shafril uses his manual stabilizer.
Yeah.
He gets into a little crouch a little bit.
Yeah.
He tries to walk smooth. Did you have to do any of that?
Nah.
I was just walk
like
normal. Yeah.
Just like what up?
That's the stuff.
Man,
that's the stuff right there.
Listen, like I said, I've imagine implementing that because again, if I'm not shooting myself, I have no reason to not do the duck walk because the duck walk helps. It absolutely helps. Like that is why people do it. Right. So
not having to do that and still getting quality footage in motion.
Yeah,
that's something I think it's invaluable. Not having to go and spend upwards between $300 to $500 for one of those electronic stabilizers.
Yeah,
because it's not. Look, the issue with it is not. They work fine and they're convenient. Well, they're convenient for your footage.
I'm about to say
carrying more equipment.
Thanks.
Carrying more equipment on location it makes you.
Apparently, you can't use them at the same time though. So I want to know why. Like I want to know what it looks like.
I know what it looks like, and so do you.
Jelly
overdo the warp stabilizer.
Yeah, okay.
And that's what it looks like. I've seen it.
Okay.
It's
bad.
It's bad.
Right.
So turn the stabilizer off if you want to use one of them other ones. Because don't get me wrong, the other one, the electronic ones, they're good too for certain type of things. For instance, in that scene in Black Panther when Michael B. Jordan took the throne, and he walked into the throne room, and you
and they
saw the
flipped
video
upside down.
flipped
Yeah.
upside down. Those things are great for stuff like that.
Mhm.
It'll be smooth. It'll have that whole thing. Even with your in-body stabilizer, it's gonna be a little awkward.
Yeah, it's a little,
when
yeah.
you trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah.
You know, and then I'm pretty sure you find some sort of a tripod or stabilizer, handheld, whatever. But your in-body stabilizer, you can walk and get low angles
Yeah.
with that, and it might
Facts.
be just fine. You know
I
what I'm
can
saying?
probably do it with my Alien. I'm fairly certain.
You probably can.
Yeah.
You probably can. So, you know,
I'm not. I gotta build up my trust though, because
you do, because you don't want nothing to break, fall
Bruh.
off, and then yo, you spent way too much money.
Nigga.
You spent way too much money on that camera to have that thing.
Right.
That's why I be babying shit, because like, yo, like it's a monumental feat for you to get it. So
Bruh.
try getting it twice, nigga.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Nah.
Talk about game changer and then a negative game changer.
Yeah. I can't.
Not only do I not have the thing that I worked so hard for, I don't have the product that allowed me to get that thing so that I can get it again.
Facts. This is the other reason why I will get extremely molten salt about the truly wealthy that do content, because it's like, yo, I get a classic example with Will Smith. You know, I love Will Smith's content when he first came.
Absolutely.
But my issue with him was this is what started to get the sour me on it. Not because he's doing anything wrong. He's doing what his money allows him to do.
Yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Exactly what he was supposed to do.
But when he was on one show and he was talking about one of his podcasts, talking about how his drone pilot lost it. The drone crashed into the water or whatever, and they couldn't get it. Guess what though?
He's got another one.
He just went out and got another one. He just went out and got another one.
That's not how it works over here.
At all. And that is the exact same thing that would happen for any other piece of equipment they fuck up. Yeah. Which allows them to be a lot more flexible and take a lot more chances with their shit. You know, it's that whole thing. So
I don't know if you saw, but notice I got the strap on this one right.
Yeah,
because on my other one, I only got the strap on one of. Yeah,
remember, you ain't playing.
No games. Right, absolutely no games. I did all that shit right here, so that if somehow I dropped it,
slipped it far right, it's right here on the table. It's not. Yeah,
it's an inch of. Yeah, I'm not playing those games. The grip, the grip. Listen to me, click. The depth of the grip is just perfect. Like, everything about this camera so far. There are a couple things I still got to figure out.
Yeah, you know. But the good thing about it is, you are familiar with Canon's setup, and with maybe barring a few changes in the menu, you know, you should be fine with that.
That was the first thing I did. Went to the menu. Yep. And I set up some custom buttons and shit.
You gotta do that.
But surprisingly, they I remember with the T6i, you had the setup back button focus.
Yeah.
Nah.
What?
Nah. It comes as set as back button focus. I'm like, yes. Because that was the first thing I went to do is change the back button. And I'm like, why do I not see the option? Well, you don't see the option because that's what it's already on.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, this thing, I'm not worthy.
Apparently you are, because you can lift it.
I can lift it. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hadn't considered that.
It's the lifting of that camera is actually a two-step process. First, you have to be able to lift your wallet and find money.
Facts.
And purchase that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then just imagine if that had been your first camera, you wouldn't have got out of that. What you can get out of it.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, you probably would have spent a good 6 months. Dicking around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I did with my T6i. I know I spent at least Well, maybe 6 months is stretching, but it's at least
it's a bit of
4
exaggeration,
months,
but yeah,
3 or 4 months where I was on auto and I was satisfied with auto because it still looked better than this.
facts.
It still looked better than that. So I was like, okay, I'm good. And then that fateful time, I actually started to pay attention to the pictures you were posting and the pictures Key were posting. It was like, yo, we got the same cameras, man. I don't mind. I don't mind look like that. What the fuck? We got the same fucking cameras. I was like, all right, I gotta get up off this auto.
Oh God!
I actually have to get in here and dig into these manuals and figure out this
word.
You know,
man, I was down. Under Armour headquarters. That's where we going tomorrow. The only reason, this fucking sunrise mission. It's been so long since I've been on one, and I forgot all the variables that are involved. Wow. And I still have yet, because Wednesday was my fault completely.
Right.
When I woke up, it was dark, and spur of the moment, I was like, "Oh shit, let me see if I can catch the sunrise." And I didn't make it.
Right.
Fine, because I didn't plan.
Make it.
Yeah, right. I didn't plan ahead. Fine.
It didn't bother you either because you didn't plan ahead. Right.
Yeah, I didn't plan.
It would have been nice.
But my goal was Fed Hill sunrise, but when I got halfway there, it was daytime. Damn. So I'm like, all right. So I'm not gonna go to Fed Hill because I don't want to waste it. All right. So I went to that spot where we did the shoot right with Ashley.
Yeah, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Damn, yo, see, this is what this Corona thing really,
man.
It was so much shit we wanted to do this
man.
That was so much shit, man.
Ugh. But then the next day, I'm like 5 minutes away from Fed Hill, and the sun, and not the sun, the sky was purple. I'm like, fuck.
Damn it.
That means I'm not gonna make it there in time.
Nope.
So I went. So that's when I went to the Under Armour headquarters. I'm like, all right, fuck that. I'll just go over here. And I got some pictures of some birds. Not close up because they're fucking birds. They're flying and shit. But then yesterday, my nigga, I adjusted my time, my wake up time. I did the majority of the shit I would need to do in the morning, the night before. I got up with enough time planned to go get some breakfast,
right,
and hit Fed Hill before the sunrise. Damn. There's a certain so I get up, get ready, head out. Had made my smoothie the night before.
The smoothie king.
Made my smoothie the night before. You don't want me messing around with that. That's a variable. You know how long that shit can take you.
This nigga's ass.
Get to the spot to get the breakfast, grab the breakfast, get down to Fed Hill. That blue that the sky turns right after it's pitch black.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh yes, I made it here perfect timing because the day before it was that blue when I was pulling off away from my house. So I was fairly certain I wasn't going to make it.
Facts.
But that blue that the sky turns right after it stops being pitch black. And that happened as I was parking and getting out of my car. I'm like, oh, this is perfect timing. Get up to the top of the hill. No, we're not doing sunrise today. It's overcast. It's cloudy.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
I'd have been a little heated about that.
This is the bullshittiest of all bullshit.
You start thinking what I always think in situations like that too. You can't win, child.
Yeah. Well, so I took the piece of failures from each 3 days and I applied them together, and I'm like, all right, so Monday, I gotta double check. It might not be Monday, but one day this coming week seems to be the perfect day to do it. Again, I am going to get up earlier than normal,
Right.
do the shit I need to do the night before.
Right.
And there's no stopping to get breakfast. Stopping to get breakfast is a Friday thing for me. A nice little treat for me,
Right,
get payday.
right.
Payday.
Right.
You one day you go ahead and eat the breakfast outside of the house. Not have to cook it. Not have to cook it. I cook, but I don't really want to. I don't like having to cook all the time.
I feel.
So yeah, if it's not, I know it's not Friday, so there's not going to be that variable in a way. I'm just going to be out there in time, and hopefully, because it's not supposed to be a cloudy day, partly cloudy, which is fine.
Yeah, as long as it's part of it.
As long as it's not overcast.
Yeah.
Overcast.
What up, Greg? What up, Greg?
What up? Yeah, man. But the bright side about it, and I said it in the damn vlog, is that just means I'll have to do another vlog. So,
yeah. Well, here's the other good news. And it's one question I want to ask you before we actually get the show started with the camera stuff.
Yeah.
But one, fall is upon us.
Oh,
right. So that's
my
good.
guy.
That's good news, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's good news. The leaves gonna start changing color. Yo, that spot when we went out to Cromwell.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that place probably looks amazing once
I'm fairly certain.
Change colors. And then the question I wanted to ask you is, how does that camera do with low light?
I will send you the video when we finish this.
God damn,
I will send you the video because I finished. I gotta add the intro and music to it, but outside of that, I finished the vlog.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'll send you the video.
Frills and thrills on it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But my nigga, listen. Part of it, and I actually learned this from Shafro. Part of the thing that helps the low light is that the megapixels aren't that high.
Facts.
It's a 20.1 megapixel sensor. So which is actually I think the same as the T6. No, the C6i might be 24.
T6i is 24.
Yeah, so the low light that helps with the low light on top of the other advancements.
Yeah, I'm about to say because that alone doesn't seem to help me much with the low light.
No, it's not just going. Yeah, it's not. I promise you, it's not that. But if the T6i's resolution was higher, you would not be able to do anything.
It's a fact.
In the dark,
which is weird because this Sony is a pretty good low light camera.
Yeah,
and it has a high resolution, high pixel.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like you said, comparative.
Yeah, true.
Compared to the T6i, it's a beast in low light.
But comparative to other things.
But compared to the A7, was it the
A7
you got the R?
I have the A7R too.
Yeah, compared to the S2, it's like no competition. The S2 wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like because that's how he explained it to me with the A7 ones, because the A7R is a resolution camera, so it's like 42 megapixels or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was like the S. It might not be the S. One of the other ones was like 20 or 25 or something like that megapixels, and it's just a beast in low light.
Shit. Damn. Well, I know. Anyway, like I already know that our audience ain't really into the whole camera. We can shit all day.
Yeah,
for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I needed a little bit of
you did need that.
some cool shit before we get into the majority of what we're going to be talking about today.
Right. All right, so
it's Charles Brown, aka Charles Brown. No, we're not talking about clips.
Ass.
All right, hold on. Let me hit the record button.
Okay, bet.
And we are recording.
Let's get this going. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SBJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
Facts
indeed. Indeed. And yes, we're going to be fussing for
a pretty decent
amount in this episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. Look, this is the world we're in now.
Yeah.
You know, this is the world we live in. People are losing their shit, and people are getting out of line at a pace now that supersedes probably any other time in the last 3 years. So, as a result of that, we are the response team.
I'm glad you said 3 years because we have to compare it to a similar time.
Yeah.
Because the argument that I always run into with people saying, "Oh, it didn't used to be like this back in the day." Well,
Yes,
it did. You just
did.
didn't know because there was no way for you to know.
No,
social media wasn't a thing.
Exactly. This is the part. This is the part where people have to acknowledge that with every bit of good, there is a slice of bad. The good with the internet, I would say
interconnectivity.
Dude, 90% of the things that I do now, I would not be able to do if not for all of this.
Facts.
Right? But along with that means I'm seeing more of your fuckery. And that means I have to take more care to engage in self-care more often now, because when you get overloaded and overwhelmed with the images, the imagery you see, the absolute dumb fuckery coming out of the mouths of people. You know what I'm saying? You can be overwhelmed to a point where it will really have you soured on humanity. And thankfully, I was already soured on humanity before the internet.
Clearly.
So I have a buffer. But there's only so much that I can take. You know, and some of the shit that I see, man, some of the shit that I read, it does get overwhelming because we talked about this before the show. I am information based. Even information that doesn't help me do shit.
You just got to take it in.
I absorb it, take it in. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, now I know that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, is that sort of thing, right? So that's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because in order to do all the shit that we do, and that includes music, because I had to learn a bunch of shit to be able to do that, because I was kind of spoiled there first. Had my man Sean Black right there. He handled the technical side of it. All I had to do was write my rapidy raps, right? Write my little rapidy raps and do the occasional bass line on the keyboard or some shit like that. That was the extent. I had to learn all the shit, and this helped. The internet helped. All these tutorial videos all over the motherfucking place.
Facts.
Then with doing the video stuff, right? A plethora of tutorials, blogs, troubleshooting, product review guides that lead me to the stuff that we would need to do things. Like, we absolutely use this to its fullest advantage thus far for us. But then there's the other side, is I have to see and hear all of your bullshit. All of your bullshit. I have to, and then I got to see you try to merge back into normal people in public. You know, that person that you were arguing with on that last thread, not you specifically, I mean in general, all of you, that person you was arguing with, that's somebody's coworker, their supervisor or manager, somebody's father or mother, somebody's kid, and in person, right? If you knew them, you would never know they was this fucking stupid.
But
you
just said a word.
Something comes out of people when they come on. Now, for me, and I had to learn this too, like, I care too much about me having any form of credibility to toss some shit out there that I haven't checked. Even if I'm wrong, I at least checked it, and somehow or another the wires got, but because I care too much about it.
Yeah.
The vast majority of these primates could give fuck all if they're spreading misinformation. Could give fuck all, and it shows. It absolutely shows. So yeah, the show had to adapt because we started off talking about the MCU and we was like music. Yo, we was like the brand new wrestler that would show up and he's a baby face.
He was like The Rock.
And he was like The Rock. We coming down the aisle, just happy
smiling.
To be here. Smiling, just happy to be here. Happy to be here. And then all it took was
all it took was Die Rocky Die.
Die Rocky Die, a couple of chair shots.
Yeah.
People cutting promos on me.
Yeah, man.
And before you know it, The Rock, eyebrow
and now we are
up.
the most electrifying podcast in all of entertainment.
Yo, facts. Facts. That's what happens. Now we walk around with $5,000 electrifying shirts.
I mean,
now when my eyebrow goes up, it used to go up the way Mr. Spock did in Star Trek when something was fascinating.
Inquisitive.
Like, Now it goes up because I'm looking at y'all niggas like, really, nigga? really, nigga? That's what we doing? Is that what's hot?
That's what's going on. That's clearly what's going on.
I mean, it is what it is. And as a result, I say all that to say as a result, we tend to fuss a little more on the show. Because, man, motherfuckers is dumb.
It's shit going on, man.
It is.
It's dumb shit going on. But anyway, speaking of dumb shit going on, Tory Lanez. What?
I think you misspelled his name.
I misspelled. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, listen. Listen. The M and the N are right next to each other on the keyboard.
I mean, it happens, my dude. It happens. Like it happens. Oh, before we even go further, before we dig deeper into this, because we about to fuss, I want to give a shout out to the Grand Gold podcast for mentioning me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, fellas. Appreciate what y'all saying about my music. Appreciate it. Now, you may continue.
Let's get into it. So, Tory Lanez releases Megan Thee Stallion diss track explaining what happened.
Except for he didn't, but go ahead.
No, he didn't.
I listened.
People were waiting for him to get on live after his announcement yesterday, but Tory instead released it says diss track, but he released the whole album.
Oh, I didn't even know it was a whole album.
He released the whole album. In the specific track, he addresses his height, the Meg Thee Stallion situation, calling it a lie. He stated that Megan's team paid him to keep quiet. In the song, he also implied that he and Megan were dating and that he held it down.
Yeah, yo. So in quotations, he held it down.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
This particular display of fuckery. Here's a couple comments from the Tweedleys. The Tweedleys have decided they decided to speak on it. Somebody says, now when Megan drops a diss track and violates all 5'2" of Tory and drags him by that receding hairline, I do not want to hear a word from y'all.
Oh my.
I agree, sis. I agree. Yeah. No, he didn't, you monkey. Not the same men saying protect black women, saying Tory tape is hard.
Yeah. We gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Here's somebody timeline sleep. Tory kind of snapping right now.
Yeah,
and somebody co-signing him. Oh my God, he is. No, Let's not.
All right. So here's the thing, right? First, let me just say this. Nigga, if you didn't do it, who did it? That's number one. If you didn't do it,
he can't say because
I get that.
No snitching.
No snitching. I get that. If you ain't doing it, who did? That's number one. That's number one, right? So I'm gonna put this out here in the beginning to say that we still don't know the entire thing that happened. So we can only really go off of what's been put out there, right? So, and I'm also going off of people's behavior, and the things that they are kind of doing that I feel looks sus to me, right? So one, nigga, you dropping tracks about what happened. This ain't no game. If things transpired the way it is appearing they did, this ain't no time for you to be trying to put some shit in. No, that's not the priority right now. You trying to use the engagement from that incident to bring attention to your tape, which, by the way, I didn't even realize he had put something out. That's kind of cray to me right there. In the first place, is very opportunist. Yeah, yo, very much so.
Well, hold on. Before you continue, let me read this. Mm-hmm. So Tory Lanez, the name of it is Daystar. His latest studio album, just days after the Breonna Taylor decision was announced. At a time when many are grieving and protesting the injustice of a young Black woman who was shot and killed by law enforcement, many believed it was an ill time for him to have released an entire project deflecting allegations that he shot Meg Thee Stallion. The release of Daystar was met with mixed reactions. A few people have welcomed Tory's side of the story, while many others slammed him for trying to gaslight Meg. Rick Ross and plenty other celebrities emerged to disavow Tory's timing, including Bun B, as a prominent figure who was extremely vocal about the Breonna Taylor case.
Yeah, he was.
Posted something of my son's expressing his disappointment in Tory and the lack of protection for Black women. First, Daniel Cameron gives that bullshit decision about Breonna Taylor murders. Now, Tory Lanez makes a diss record about Megan after he shot her. Black men, we got to do better. Tory Lanez, and I don't care if this go viral or none of that shit. I'm from Houston. This is Bun B. Yeah. I'm from Houston. If somebody would have done something to Megan in this city, we would have rolled. F the man on drugs. Get him some goddamn rehab. If the man got mental health issues, get him some therapy. But you not gonna sit here and shoot this girl and we not gonna say nothing. That shit not real, nigga. Shit. It's not. Anytime a man hurts a woman, that's obsession. And that ain't love. He had no reason to shoot this girl.
Which is why when you hear in that song these proclamations about the way he feel about it, that shit kind of rings hollow, saying as though she got shot. And here's the other thing.
Rings hollow. I'd see bars
all day. But the other thing about that is I don't believe that I can say what my son Bun B said any better than they did. So I kind of want to shift my focus just a second.
Oh, remember that. I got to read this last part.
Okay.
After Tory faced backlash for the project's release, his team stepped forward to reveal that a portion of the proceeds made from Daystar will go towards the Breonna Taylor Foundation.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Listen.
Continue.
This man potentially shot a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when I see you nigglets crowing about it, they go kind of hard though. This is why we lose.
Yeah,
this is why we lose because
there's a couple of reasons for today. Matter of fact, that might be the name of the show. this is today, because there are a couple. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yo.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen. Look, priorities, motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what his. When I listened to his song, I didn't listen for flow. I didn't listen for cadence. I didn't listen for a witty twist of phrase. I'm trying to hear what he had to say for himself because to me the priority is he shot a Black woman. He potentially, from what we know now, he shot a Black woman. All that up, I don't give a fuck. See, y'all
nothing else matters.
Easily distracted with shit like this because y'all priorities are all fucked up. Your priorities are all the way fucked up if you think I'm gonna sit here and prioritize how his music sound when this shit ain't been resolved yet.
Mm-hmm.
This is how motherfuckers do the worst shit ever to themselves, to other people, to our community, and get allowed to get away with it because they just put out some content. And y'all go like a bunch of content junkies. Look, he got something new. No, you're not changing the conversation.
Yeah.
This needs to be resolved. We need to know what the fuck happened. For real.
So there's new allegations with that surround the incidents of that night.
Mm-hmm.
The story now, again, allegations, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
The story now is that they were arguing.
Mm-hmm.
She was apparently getting the better of him in the argument
Mm-hmm.
and decided, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to go walk home. She gets out the car. So apparently because the story before was that he shot her in the car.
Yeah,
no,
that's not. No, I've heard this next one you're about to say that it wasn't in the car.
Right? Yeah, she got out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
He was still upset. He said something to the effects of "dance, bitch," and shot at the ground. When he hit the ground, shrapnel hit her foot. That is that's the current allegations that are going on right now, which directly refute his bars about matters. How you get shot in the foot and don't hit no bone or tendon. Shrapnel.
Yo, see this again. This is why I want. This other thing I want to do is to stop pretending to be. Nigga,
doctors.
One, you're not a doctor, right? Two, stop faking like you a street dude. Stop faking like y'all street dudes. You know, I'm tell you why. If you never heard of a bullet grazing somebody,
right?
If you never heard of that shit happens, that shit happens. I know from personal experience that shit happens.
Yeah.
Shrapnel. Oh, we ain't even talking about. We're not even talking about the full bullet. We're talking shrapnel, a piece from it.
Mm-hmm.
Can a regular bullet, a full bullet can graze you. So a piece of shrapnel definitely can stop it, my nigga. Stop pretending. This is the problem. Y'all went out here and bought yourself a little pistol because you short and you like to talk shit. And you know what usually happens in that situation if you're not Wolverine. If you're not Wolverine, you know what I'm saying, and you short and talking shit, you're gonna run into somebody that's going to be like, let me talk to you, little fella, and pick you up by your chin hairs, you know what I'm saying, and beat you all about the head and shoulders, right? So you got yourself a little pistol because you like to talk shit and you like to be tough. I'm tough, y'all. I'm Tory Lanez. Look at my hairline. Listen.
You and your Napoleon complex. Even though Napoleon wasn't really
he wasn't really
that short.
He was
kind of average
comparative to the height of people at that time.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Facts. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Tory Lanez is shorter than Napoleon. So
yes, absolutely. He's about 4 inches.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, like, I ain't gonna sit here and I really am disappointed with dudes. The stuff that we going through now, stuff that we dealing with, we see happening now, to try to prioritize his music over us finding out what the fuck actually happened here and if he did that shit or not. I'm not gonna sit here and give him stream money, and I'm not doing that. No, absolutely not.
All right, so there's a scathing review by Complex, which I'm slightly surprised about.
That's crazy.
But I looked at the author, Andre G. So yeah, you black man. So the shooting incident allegedly involving Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion is already an unprecedented moment in rap history. Now Tory has decided to plunge further into surreality with his surprise Daystar album, a project too contemptible to be evaluated on any musical scale. Frankly, and this goes to what you said, frankly, the Sonics don't matter. His Megan people trying to frame me for a shooting lyrics on the tellingly titled Money Over Fallouts conveyed enough for the people who simply wanted to know what he had to say about the violence he's alleged of.
Right.
But then he kept going. The project is a spectacle of male ego as he shirks accountability, brings up his crush on Kylie Jenner, and disses several celebrities for believing Megan's claims that she was shot. Tory says he still has feelings for Megan, but if he truly cared about her, then he wouldn't have released an entire project attempting to make money off of her trauma. First, he questioned if she was really shot, asking, how the fuck you get shot in your foot, don't hit no bones or tendons? He later contradicted himself by asking, if you got shot from behind, how can you identify me? Tory had 2 months to get his story straight, but instead of expressing accountability, regret, or empathy, it's far and away hip-hop's grandest exhibition of victimhood.
Yeah, facts.
At a time when people, specifically Black women, are still hurt that the Louisville grand jury didn't feel like the cops killing Breonna Taylor was a crime, Tory Lanez released a 17-track tirade exploiting Megan's pain, all in hopes to salvage his career and win favor from men who are just as fragile as him. Based on the project's status atop the iTunes charts and the harassment in Megan's Instagram comments, it appears he found enough of them to believe his story. The circumstance is another indictment on patriarchy. The common denominator in many Black male entertainers' abuses is that their victims are Black women and girls. But most of these men still have careers, in part because they were able to make themselves sympathetic figures to misogynists. Chris Brown cried during a Michael Jackson tribute, and all was forgiven for people who didn't care for Rihanna's pain. R. Kelly dropped a cloying 19-minute track where he admitted his illiteracy and being a broke-ass legend and won sympathy. Tory, like all of us, has seen male entertainers systemically sidestep accountability and maintain their careers. He's seen the dismissive reactions to Black women's tearful admissions with bad faith adages like, we'll see how the facts play out, and there's 2 sides to a story. He saw fans claim that they can somehow separate R. Kelly's sexual music from his sexual abuse. And he saw Chris Brown's attack on Rihanna disturbingly morph into the Chris Brown army versus the Rihanna Navy. He just saw Talib Kweli parlay weeks of harassing a Black woman into a boost for his Patreon following.
Which we
most people thought, most people thought Tory is done in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, but there were too many needlessly skeptical people for that to be the case. First, men ridiculed the shooting, then questioned Megan's culpability, then questioned her healing, all the while ignoring her admission that she felt unprotected. Let me pause real quick to add in, you dumb motherfuckers that I saw asking how she recorded a music video after being shot. You dumb pieces of shit that have no concept of how the world works and don't understand that they didn't just record that fucking video.
But see, you know what though? I'm glad you brought that up, because that is a glaring example of what the fuck we was talking about when we started the show and why we fuss more on the show now. This is a glaring example of that. You see, you're dumb. But you always got your mouth around an opinion as if you got some sort of credibility to be, you're fucking dumb.
Literally, I've seen the statement. Well, the question, how did she shoot this video?
I like to know this.
She doesn't seem like she's limping.
How does the person that asked that question breathe and walk at the same time? How?
Oh, niggas and flies.
I do despise. But the more I see niggas, the more I like flies. Listen,
all right.
Y'all listen. All I gotta say is the person in that article there pretty much summed up what I was saying. I'm not prioritizing this nigga's music when we still don't know what the fuck happening over here. And some of y'all tone deaf as shit, and some of y'all cannot read the temperature in the room to save your life or to save the life of others. And I knew you punk ass niggas was going to do that Because you always find a reason to disrespect black women. Y'all always do. Y'all, you might start out right saying the right shit because the initial response is a human response. Oh, yo, and then after that, your indoctrination kicks in.
Yeah.
The indoctrination you got from living in a society like this kicks in. And all of a sudden you start ready to attack somebody who got shot. She got shot, and you're attacking her. All of a sudden you running around here using variations of arguments like, well, what she have on?
No, that's funny. That's funny. Wait, he continues to go in. It's as if Tory Lanez spent the last 2 months reading what black men were saying on social media and vied to project it all back to them in twisted male solidarity. Now they're in Megan's Instagram comments, quoting Tory's lines and surmising.
See, this is the
once
shit I'm
Tory
about.
explains himself, you got some explaining to do after that. But Megan already explained herself. The people attacking her want her to reply so that they can twist and pull at her every word.
Yeah, they're going to gaslight
instead of accepting the only 3 words that matter. Tory shot me.
Yeah.
This circumstance isn't just about Tory Lanez or even the music industry. It's about the interlinking of patriarchy and capitalism. Those systems are what allow an alleged aggressor to become the sympathetic victim and to have Megan's pain exploited on streaming platforms so he and corporations, including her Rock Nation management, can make money off of it. Right. Black people's trauma is industrialized.
Yeah.
We die and don't get justice, but we get documentaries. Now, black women get shot and receive denial albums while they're trying to heal. Daystar is the epitome of capitalism's amorality. That's why black women everywhere are making demands to dismantle our existing social constructs and imagine a new world to get rid of the power dynamics that allow for gross exploitative displays like this.
And the only other thing I would add to that is also this is an example of how capitalism can definitely help with narrative positioning, because that's all he's trying to do is position the narrative. And we've said this on the show many times, the universe is not just made up of atoms, it's made up of narratives and stories. What they can get people to believe, people tend to act on. And if people want to believe certain things, it doesn't take much to convince them of it. So he just need to make it cool. I'm gonna do my rapidy raps, and they gonna like the way I rapidy rap. Yo, did you hear that flow, dog? What about that twist of a phrase I just did right there? How about that metaphor? Did you hear my almost whiny / crying delivery on that? Yeah, yo, that shit hard, yo. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here. I don't want to hit. I don't want to hear shit. Sit. And I knew you niggas was going to do this, man. I knew y'all was going to do this.
Yo, all right. So in an effort to fully expose him, Complex is going in. Complex did another article.
And like you said, it's surprising because he's been on their platform, interviewed on Everyday Struggle. Yeah, it's
in an effort to fully expose him, they did an article with some snippets.
Yo, why am I just saying that's Sam's channel, ain't it? Jones Family. Yo, why am I just saying you misspelled Tory Lanez's name? It's spelled quick. All nights bars.
All bars. So here's excerpt 1. Girl, you had the nerve to write that statement on the affidavit, knowing I ain't do it, but I'm coming at my truest, and I thought you was solid too. But look at how you doing me. Look at how you doing me. People trying to ruin me. He brings up his claim that he's being framed for the second time later on in the song, rapping, niggas, y'all can play me, y'all can frame me, but I'ma reach the top. I would never put you in no danger. And if I did, you would have said it when you seen the cops.
Except for see, this is the other part too. So, first of all, that's not true.
No, that's not how that works.
Demonstrably so. See, listen, I grew up in a household early on, full of domestic bullshit.
Yeah.
My biological father and my mom's. Right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people knew about what was happening because mom ain't say nothing.
Right.
And she got fed up and she decided either I'm gonna kill him or he gonna kill us. So she got us the fuck up out of there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He never went to jail for any of that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's not generally how that works.
That's generally not how it works. But how it usually works. A lot of women say nothing. They say nothing about this to the cops, to their family, to their friends. They say nothing. So that is completely on brand for this situation.
Y'all just don't happen to be famous.
Also, Meg got that street in her, right? You know, like I know. Don't nobody want to talk to no motherfucking police.
Nah,
I got that street. Look, we from.
And then on top of that, the all the shit going on with police brutality.
Yeah, it's like nah,
nah. It doesn't really behoove her. Well, I'm sorry.
Why would she look at the police?
She would have reason to believe that it wouldn't really behoove her.
Exactly. And again, she also has reason to believe that the police aren't her friends. They are her allies. They're not there to come to her defense or her rescue, because we've seen examples of that too.
Mind you, she's 25.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. All right, next excerpt. Me and Kylie still off in the pool.
Man.
First of all,
nigga,
never mind.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. It's funny that he brought her up, because the other day me and my daughter was looking at this website that was showing people celebrity houses, like where the fuck, how they live and shit. And as soon as I clicked on it and I saw hers, I skipped past that shit. It's so goddamn quick.
That's
I got
funny.
a blister on my fucking hand.
You stupid. Me and Kylie still off in the pool. We was chilling, kicking shit, was cool. Both of us didn't know you was tripping. Even though I got a crush on Kylie, I would have left with you if I knew you was dipping for the simple reason you invited me, but I can't act like shorty didn't excite me. I had took a wrong turn that night. I wasn't the wrong one that night. You was too drunk to even see it. Wasn't anticipating. I never put you in no situation. I've never even had an argument with you. Conversations, I'm all bargaining with you because you was my nigga for real. And if you can agree, then you owe me that.
I don't even like them fucking bars. But all right, so shit is fuck out of here, niggas. It's not a few people that can do that explanatory rap. You ain't no M, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Explanatory rap.
He continues. Don't forget you was my bitch.
Oh,
I mean, it's a 17 track, whatever. Don't forget you was my bitch. I held it down and kept it real. I would never paint no fake picture of you just for some mills. And I thought you was solid too. But look at how you doing me. Look at how you doing me. People trying to ruin me. And that's even worse. And what's even worse is I'm still thinking about you and me. When does it get strange? When you start lying to your best friend about us and hoping she ain't entertained? Or is it strange when the love come with secrets and the games? When the world unveil your curtains and all they laughing at it's your pain? But does it change when we both reveal that both our mothers died? We still dealing with some pain and need someone to entertain? Or does it change when you break down in my arms and start crying? Feeling like you alone, and I tell you everything's okay. Will we ever talk about this? Will we ever console again? Or will we keep on acting like I put you in danger and some pain?
It's just a classic attempting to make herself a victim, attempting to convince the woman that what happened to her didn't happen to her. She took it all wrong. She's the one that fucked up. I can't, yo. I can't with that dumb shit. I can't with that dumb shit. Tori is. I'm gonna tell you something. I hear a lot of people say,
Yo, real quick, somebody put a joke. Yo, never forget Tory Lanez is the same height sitting down and standing up.
Yo, it reminds me, that was ass. Yo, it's just all of this shit, man. It just, I don't know. I've heard plenty of people say, and this is part of the problem too. Man, he lucky that Megan wasn't my sister, my daughter, my blah, 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 blah. She shouldn't have to be all that for you to be mad. About that and want to fuck him up. She shouldn't have to be all that. And the fact
I feel like that's a weird flex. Like the answer should have been like, he lucky that I don't have access to him.
Who is it? Right. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I hear this a lot. Like, it ain't mine. So if they not related to you or connected to you in that way, you wouldn't protect or look out for or make sure they was good. That shit's it's weird. And it's again quoting the probable title of this episode. This is why we lose.
Yeah.
That's why we lose.
Absolutely. All right. Enough of this nigga.
Yeah, for real.
Moving on. Yeah, really do hate to see it.
Yeah.
Black fourth grader suspended over BB gun in virtual classroom.
Holy shit.
Virtual classroom. Louisiana's Attorney General has launched an investigation after a young black child was suspended for having a BB gun in his bedroom while attending school virtually. The Attorney General, Jeff Landry, announced the investigation in a statement released on Friday. In his statement, he called the incident egregious and said he is alarmed by what appears to not only be multiple violations of both the state and federal constitutions, but also blatant government overreach by the school system. I have begun investigating this matter and plan to take action in defense of this young man and his family and all families who could suffer the same invasion of their homes and constitutional rights. The announcement came after somebody who I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names returned to Woodmere Elementary on Thursday following a 6-day suspension over a BB gun that could only be seen for a split second, according to Nyron Harrison, the child's father. The 9-year-old was taking a test online when his brother walked into the room carrying the BB gun. The gun fell, so the boy picked it up and placed it near his seat, where apparently his fellow classmates could see it. The teacher filed a behavior report with the school saying he presented a weapon that appeared to be a rifle/shotgun during his Google Meets classroom session and violated the school's policies
he had the burner
on weapons and internet usage. The report recommended that he be expelled per school policy. A lawyer for the family said that while school officials agreed he didn't actually point the gun at his computer, they maintained that on-campus policies still applied during distance learning. They just went ahead and went along with it and blew it out of proportion, the father says. And he's understandably concerned about how having a suspension on his record could affect his son in the future. This outcome is going to follow him through the rest of his life, and that's what's not allowing me to accept their decision. For anyone to conclude that a student's home is now school property because of connectivity through video conferencing is absurd. This is the Attorney General speaking again. Wait, not Attorney General. Yeah, Attorney General. So, wait, where is it? Yeah. My office and I will take a deep dive into all the irreparable harm caused by this egregious incident and take appropriate actions. Jefferson Parish Public School System told the news station that it doesn't comment on the records of individual students, saying only that it allows teachers and administrators to use reasonable discipline to keep order.
Well, they already fucked up. That ain't
reasonable. Clearly that's not reasonable. Yeah, I personally find that to be inaccurate, seeing as the discipline applied here was completely unreasonable. It's not as if the teacher couldn't simply send a note to him and his family telling them to be mindful of the BB gun. That would have been reasonable. Recommending a kid be expelled over an incident in a less than ideal learning environment Come on now. Chelsea Burner. Cool. That's funny. Burner. He had
the burner and shit. Yeah.
Attorney for the Harrison family said the incident was grossly mishandled and wants the school to remove the suspension from his record as the incident happened at home. Should they refuse, he said a lawsuit was not out of the question.
They should sue.
They should absolutely sue regardless.
This is absurd, and it's like,
bruh.
Like at this. Listen, if that was the case, can you imagine? As a kid, when I was a kid, I had all kinds of toy guns and shit like that. Toy swords and all that other shit. Can you imagine if they had a video conferencing situation happening and especially in my messy ass room, my shit was all over the goddamn place. You might have seen that shit on the dresser. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And, come on, man. Are we serious? This is what we doing? That's what's hot.
Because here's my thing. I had heard about this story, but I didn't know the details as far as how the gun was seen.
Right.
So here's my thing. You feel like it was threat enough that the gun was seen, but don't feel like it was threat enough that the brothers were interacting with it together, without a parent being there.
Yeah.
So you didn't deem it necessary to let the parents know, like, hey, your children are playing with a gun,
right?
But you deemed it necessary to suspend this little boy.
Yeah, you got it.
That doesn't.
That's exactly.
Yeah,
that.
And
you know the thing that's sad,
that doesn't track.
The thing that's sad though, like if he had been physically in school and he'd had a BB gun, I would have certainly understood.
Sure.
Because depending on what kind of BB gun it is,
most of them look real.
Most of them look
real. From a distance, and
they look real. And if it's one of them CO2 ones, you can put somebody out.
It can cause damage.
Shit. You can do some shit.
Yo, I shot somebody in the eye with a BB
gun. See,
not on purpose,
but
not on purpose.
And I'm sure, a situation like that could have happened in school with other students. Could have shot them not on purpose, but so that would have been understandable to me. But this kid is in the comfort of his own home in a situation that's already not optimal. Doesn't it seem to you that they would have allowed for the fact that this is an extraordinary situation? So we are literally got cameras and shit and can see
in places that they shouldn't be normally.
Right.
Well, but I'm going back to the uneven nature of this complaint. It's not, you're not keeping the same energy, because if you really thought it was that big a problem, you would have had some type of issue with the two boys playing with it without a parent.
Facts. You didn't say anything about that.
That's my thing.
Right. You
like
say anything about
I can rock with you if you say, maybe a 9-year-old shouldn't have access to this. If you keep the same energy,
especially but even with that, you saying that is still no concern of yours to suspend the kid in his house. The shit was happening in his house.
Yeah, that's not the move that comes from that concern.
The only thing,
not if it's a genuine concern.
Yeah, of course. And this is the other thing. So, just like everything else, there's a line. If you witnessed a crime taking place on that video that endangered the child or somebody else in that house, is your responsibility to do something about that. But this wasn't.
But it still wouldn't be a suspension.
No,
not the first step.
No.
Maybe eventually down the line. But
if the 9-year-old kid was in there lighting up some bass,
right?
All right, you might. What the fuck is going on? Get this kid some help. Why is this happening? But you suspended him for a BB gun in his house.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. Is that what we doing?
This is where we live.
Yo, I hate it here. I fucking hate it here.
I ain't gonna fight you over it. It's nothing I can't even attempt to defend this.
Let me just say, happy belated Independence Day, Belize. Just want to put that out there.
Okay. All right. We get it.
Okay.
We understand.
Places.
Bullshit. Yeah, this is bullshit. But let's take a break from the bullshit and get to a little bit of positivity.
Yeah, that works.
Um, the
Yo, you
revolution
so
will be
stupid. You
televised.
so stupid.
The fourth annual March for Black Women will be broadcast live. We need to talk about the women, said Lizzo in her first ever Vogue cover story earlier this week. She was referring to the women who have so often been overlooked in the movement for Black lives, a movement founded by Black women.
By the way,
And
so you know.
as this article goes live,
which is one of the reasons why they're attacking it too. Just to
oh,
put that out
absolutely,
there.
yeah, absolutely. And as the article goes live, there are feet on the ground across the nation in protest of the lack of convictions for the police officers responsible for the death of Breonna Taylor. Taylor, like Sandra Bland before her, has furthered much needed progress in the way we discuss, honor, and fight for female victims of state sanctioned violence. We look forward to a day women and men alike aren't required to become martyrs to structural racism, but until that day, we protest physically, mentally, and yes, virtually. On Saturday, September 26th,
Today,
12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which
right
is
now.
going on now.
Right now.
The Black Women's Blueprint will take its fourth annual March for Black Women virtual, prioritizing safety and social distancing by live streaming the event this year while gathering online to denounce violence against self identifying Black women and femmes. We unite in all our diversity to raise Black, cis, trans, and GNC voices in the continued fight for racial and gender equality, says a statement provided to the Glow Up, which also reads, on Saturday, September 26, 2020, the fourth annual March for Black Women calls activists to gather online and rise up because her Black Life Matters past marches have seen thousands take the street in Washington D.C. to demand equality, but the pandemic will not stop this year's march. With the 2020 election on the horizon, it's more important than ever to stop asking Black women to choose between race and gender. We ask you to join us virtually as we broadcast the revolution for and by Black women. For the past 3 years, Black Women's Blueprint has produced a march for Black women to raise awareness and make their demands heard, for reparations for Black women, for the rights of Black trans women, and to denounce sexual violence against Black women and girls. This year's event is one of many this fall, engaging folks to not just get out and vote, but to understand the impact of electing women of color to office and the power women have as the majority to elect legislators that best serve Black women's interests. During the incredibly transformative moment, Black women and girls, disabled sisters, sisters across the border, and women that exist along all other axes of oppression have consistently been decentered. Black Women's Blueprint recognizes the pressing need to develop a blueprint for political and social justice derived from Black women's self determination and autonomy. For this event held by Black women for Black women, the march boasts an impressive lineup of virtual speakers, including Gina Belafonte, daughter of Harry, Ihan Omar, U.S. Representative for Minnesota, Opal Tometi, co-founder of Black Lives Matter, Joanne Smalls, model, actor, activist, Rosa Clemente, first Afro-Latina woman to run for vice president of the United States, Michaela Angela Davis, author, image activist, Stacian Chen, poet/author. Saturday's broadcast will stream live via the Black Women's Blueprints Facebook page. Register now on their event page. You can also donate to support Black women or register now to vote. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, some.
Yeah. I'm with all that. All
absolutely.
those things.
As a matter of fact, in my other tab, I'm running the stream in the other tab, the live stream
Word.
On my other tab. Give them
Word.
some numbers.
Absolutely.
Help with their numbers.
Little, you know, little help, little support.
That's all.
It's the least that we can do. Yeah. So I had to sprinkle that little bit of positivity
you were right
in
to
here
do
because
this is about to get greasy again, y'all. Hate to see it.
Gail. Gail.
Gail.
Gail King calls out Pelosi for calling Trump supporters henchmen. CBS News' Gail King called out House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Friday for calling President Trump's supporters henchmen, saying the language is just as egregious as rhetoric directed towards her by the president. King made the remark after she asked Pelosi about whether Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden should debate Trump next week, given Pelosi's previous comments questioning the wisdom of holding the debate. Tuesday's the big debate, King said to Pelosi. Tuesday, the debate between the two of them. You earlier suggested that you didn't think Biden should debate. Do you still feel that way? Pelosi says the president has no fidelity to fact or truth. And actually, in his comments the last few days, no fidelity to the Constitution, referring to his remarks earlier this week about a peaceful transition of power.
Right.
He and his henchmen are a danger with their comments, are a danger to our democracy. Why bother? He isn't committed to the Constitution. Gail claps back with, but Speaker Pelosi, here's the problem. Your language, to some, is just as egregious as what they're saying. By calling the president's people henchmen, some could say that's just as insulting as what he's saying about you. Pelosi replied, well, I don't care what he says about me. Every knock from him is a boost for me. If he wants to help me raise money, he can keep knocking me. Phrasing. But, yeah.
If false equivalency was a person,
bruh,
it's Gail King.
What is going on, Gail? See,
no,
here's my thing.
She's doing.
They get her and Oprah get a lot of flack, and it's usually around them not seeming to really care about us. That's the narrative that's thrown out there.
Right.
So when you pull this toxic fairness bullshit,
that's exactly what it is.
It kind of rings like those rumors might have some validity to them.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I mean, again, it's funny because she's doing this is on brand. Not just for her, but for the media. And, I rarely get on here and rail specifically about the media, the news media. But I gotta say, one of the things that they do that's not helpful at all is, so there is a list of facts out there. There are facts, demonstrable, can be checked, repeatable, right? And a lot of times what the mainstream news media does is floats a false equivalency out there as if all statements and all positions should be taken as seriously as others. So this is what happens when they do that. They lend credibility and authenticity to people they shouldn't. And they minimize people who have worked and bust their asses that have this credibility, that have a past history of that shit. Now, whether you like Nancy Pelosi or not, that's not what this is about.
She's a human being, so she has good points and bad points.
To say that calling his people henchmen is such an egregious insult in comparison to what he has said about the news media themselves and about other politicians that are on the other side of the political spectrum as him, and some that are allegedly on the same side as him. To make this false equivalency, you basically undercut your own credibility when you do that. This is why it is easy for a demagogue to rail against y'all and get a sizable amount of people, whether they agree with his overall political persuasion or not, to agree with them, because everybody has an example they can pull up of a time where the news media did something or said something that had you looking at them like, really, nigga?
Right.
Really, nigga? Y'all keep doing that shit. And I'm going to tell you, you helped create this perfect storm. You helped do that shit. Because one, you gave people coverage when they were doing shit that you shouldn't have did, that you shouldn't have given coverage for, but you did that because of the ratings. So you were being very, selective and decided when to be morally outraged and when not to be morally outraged. And you put that shit on the screen and go, look at what he's saying, y'all, because it's a train wreck. And people start to watch train wrecks. Oh, shit, the spectacle of it, right?
Every time.
So you go and you do that shit. That's one thing you do. Then a lot of times, because the news media is profit driven now. There was a time in this country when it wasn't, but that's long since gone. The news media is profit driven. And because it's profit driven, when you run something like a business, you start saying, what do we need to increase? We need to increase our profit margins. How do we do that? Well, get more people to watch. Therefore, our stream or video feed becomes valuable. Therefore, we can charge a bunch of money to businesses who
ad companies,
space and shit like that on our shit. So then you start deciding what's important for the people to know based on the ratings potential.
Yeah.
And not based on what the public actually do. So you're supposed to be this very important institution in this country for informing the people, and you turned that shit into just some regular ass marketplace bullshit. And then you do stuff like this, where you say him calling people sons of bitches is the equivalent of her calling people henchmen. Stop it, Gail. Stop it. It's not the same. It is absolutely not. If Nancy Pelosi got on there and called him a son of him and his sons of bitches he calls homeboys, you would have had every right to jump in her ass and say, hold up now. This is kind of cray-cray, don't you think? You don't talk like that on any other regular time. This ain't the shit you do. Why you doing that shit now? See, people going to see that, and people that aren't really as informed, that you kind of check out most of the time until election time, hear that, and you become part of the problem. That's not what she said. She said fucking henchmen.
Yeah.
Yo, and she just said cronies with that.
Yeah, I was just about to say cronies.
Fuck out of here.
That's funny.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Gil. What? Why? Why do you think you personally? Because whether that's something that they've allowed you to do so they look more credible, or whether you've done it on your own,
you decided to do, right?
You've decided you've had a bit of a history of saying what you feel. So why?
Gail. Yo, the shit is absurd, yo. Shit is fucking absurd.
You know what? I will stop at absurd, because this next thing is infuriating. Well,
get him.
It's a couple things. We would like to if I may, I would like to call to the stand a brother that has his own memes. That would be one Charles Wade Barkley. I would like you to approach the stand and take a seat so that we can have a little bit of a conversation. Sir Charles, if you will. Sir Charles. With all due respect.
With all due respect, I have no respect.
And Charles Barkley was pissed at Kenny Smith for walking offset as NBA players protested Jacob Blake shooting. Former NBA guard Kenny Smith walked off the NBA on TNT set in August in solidarity with players who refused to play in their playoff game over the Jacob Blake shooting in Wisconsin. Smith left the set just minutes after TNT began a special edition broadcast during what would have been the network's coverage of a playoff matchup between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets. While seen as a powerful move, one of Smith's colleagues said he was pissed over it. Charles Barkley says in the interview on Monday that he thought Smith should have let his colleagues know what he was doing in advance. Now, before I get into his actual quote, let me just say.
What are you about to say?
Absolutely, Charlie. It would have been nice.
It would have been nice
for Kenny to let you know. There would have been no issue with Kenny letting you know. It would have been absolutely nice of him. Would have been nice. Now, to his quote. I was pissed at Kenny because I didn't think he should have walked off. Pause.
Yeah, let's stop that for a second.
So the issue isn't
that he walked
him not letting you know.
Yeah, it's the fact that he walked off. That got you salty as shit right now.
Okay, let me continue. He should have told us in advance because I had just said that it was bogus that the Milwaukee Bucks just did that to the Orlando Magic. Let's pause again. It happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Wisconsin. It happened there. Like they were front and with all the things going on and the NBA being predominantly black and the conversation that was going on with I'm glad you said that, Greg. The whole walk out was spur of the moment. That's the whole thing. Yeah. It's not nothing that it wasn't necessarily that they had it planned.
Right.
You're missing the point. It's this you're redirecting.
Yo, his type frequently does.
Well,
like they almost specialize in that sort of shit.
You're shifted. This is victimhood. You're making yourself a victim. The purpose was not to upset the other team by making sure that we didn't tell them that we were going to do this.
Right.
Kenny Smith wasn't like, well, I'm gonna fuck Charles Barkley over by not telling him that I'm about to walk off the set. No, that is not what happened. All right, let me continue. And then like 30 seconds later, he did the same exact thing. I had no problem with him walking off, whatever. He should have told us so we could have prepared. The show was like, uh-oh. Now, let me reread what he said.
Okay.
Because y'all missed that
really
bar.
Important.
Y'all missed that bar. Y'all missed that bar.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read these two pieces of what he said right next to each other.
Right.
No, more than two. Okay. I was pissed at Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think he should have walked off.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with him walking off.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? How does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another one.
Mm-hmm.
He should have told us in advance because I had just said that it was bogus that the Bucks did that to the Magic and didn't tell them. And then like 30 seconds later, he did the same exact thing. He should have told us so we could have prepared. 30 seconds. 30 seconds? How could you have prepared
in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds.
Really,
Charlie.
Nigga? Really, nigga?
Charlie.
Charles.
That might have something to do with it, Greg. Listen, the only reason Greg says Charles mad that he missed his moment in history. He blinked. Now listen. Normally, because that is very that's a bar. That is a bar. I will fight back against it though. The only reason I will fight back against it is because of who we're talking about.
Yeah.
This nigga.
He been this way.
I really fail to believe that he would have wanted to do that. Because here's the thing. He's shown me nothing that anytime I've seen him, and this is just me. Maybe I'm missing something.
No. Talk about because my timeline go back further than you.
Okay. Anytime I've seen him deal with issues of race and anything like that, he's at best maybe saying a thing is not right. But generally, he seems complacent or just like, oh, hey.
Nigga, this shit is predictable as fuck. Listen, from from the time that I can first remember paying attention to anything he says. Charles been on that bullshit. Charles has been on the same bullshit Daniel Cameron was on. They part of the same party. This is what I be trying to tell motherfuckers. Not to get too political necessarily, because I don't give a fuck about either one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But I have noticed a certain type of behavior and careless disregard of the Black community. What we think, how we feel, situations we find ourselves in, and what we tend to want to do about it, coming from people like Charles. And the common denominator is always the same with them. So when that little chick did that little commercial, one with the red dress on, walking through Baltimore, the worst part she could find, ran down the city, try to present herself as someone who was going to be a truth teller and change everything, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
She comes from the exact same place he come from, exact same place Daniel comes from, exact same place Candace comes from. What's the common denominator?
Hey.
Let's stop.
Hey.
Let's stop it.
Hey.
Let's stop
Listen, and people are so fucking binary. Here's the thing. That's not life. You want to believe that's life because it makes it easier for you to understand things.
Facts.
Like, that's not how life works. Things are not black and white. It is a shades of gray world. Everything exists on a spectrum. 99% of things exist on a spectrum.
Right.
There are some things that are actual binary.
One of the things that's in that 1%, that's binary that you can always count on is humans are fucking stupid. That's one thing you can always count.
Facts.
Niggas being fucking stupid, yo.
Facts. So Barkley says that the Bucks protest put the other teams in a tough spot and would have made the other teams look bad if they decided to play. That's the point, Charles.
That was the whole point. You
Charlie,
colossal D-bag.
Yeah, Charlie, that's how boycotts work.
Check this out, Milk Dud. Go and research.
Well, strike. I'm sorry, I'm doing it now. That's how strikes work.
That's how strikes work. Yo,
yeah.
Go and look up the word and see, and then look up historical examples of how this is. But these things aren't done to make things convenient for you.
Yeah, and it's rarely a situation where there's a mass plan and everybody's on the same page and they dictate when and how exactly. No, it's usually domino effect.
Yo, I have had it up to here with this respectability bullshit from you motherfuckers. And who you think is calling balls and strikes in this shit, I don't know. Who you think you getting points from, I don't know. I gotta tell you, fellas, they don't give a flying fuck about you, except for when they can use you to make their arguments for them. You fucking hump.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's how this article ends. At the time, Barkley says, I don't think we can be shocked about the players' decision to boycott games. I think it's appropriate that the Milwaukee Bucks did it because it happened in their home state, 40 miles from there. And then I think you had to cancel the games tonight after the Bucks didn't play. My question is, what's the game plan after that? You know why you have no idea what the game plan is after that?
Why is that?
Because they don't talk to you.
And why? Hold up.
They don't look at you.
I'm glad you said that. So let's take this piece by piece. Why don't they talk to Charles?
They don't look at you as that type of person. You aren't that figure for them.
They don't see
to talk to about these issues.
Your brothers don't see you as an ally. Sit with that. Sit with that. Your brothers don't see you as an ally, as somebody that can be counted on, as someone that's in the fight with them. Your brothers don't see you like that. And the reason they don't see you like that is because you have never presented, ever presented that you was down, that you did care.
You being a Republican, you should have money. Like not in general. This is not an overgeneralization. This is not me stereotyping.
Yeah,
my point is him being the person that he is, having the career that he's had, and being a Republican. If you believe and do those ideals, especially the ones that aren't necessarily bad or evil, you should have money. So I don't understand what the issue would have been. You seeing Kenny get up and then being like, "Yep, you're right. Let's go." Because you got money. What they gonna do? Fire both of you? There's no. Listen to me clearly. They wasn't going to fire Kenny.
Hell,
there's absolutely no way they would have fired both of you.
That's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen, especially because of why you did what you did. Yeah. If they Disney would never.
And no rock beans ever
have this type of shitstorm happening. They know marketing and optics better than pretty much any company in the world. Disney would never allow you two to be fired for protesting police brutality.
See, and this herein brings me back to when we had the guest from our sister program, Coffee with Chloe on. He was talking about there. You see, dumbass, this is why be less concerned about if they actually care and more concerned about do you have the power to make them pay if they don't.
Facts.
This is what matters, not whether or not they really love you or care about you.
Who cares?
They don't know you. They don't even know you. You need to be in a position where they recognize they will feel pain they don't want to feel if they don't capitulate, if they don't make allowances for.
If they actually care, it's just a bonus.
That's just a bonus. Man, I had to quickly look up. Charles Barkley's net worth is $40 million. Nigga, if they would have fired you,
he's been absolutely fine. He'd have went to a different network, NBA TV, some shit like that. He'd have went to a different network and been fine.
Charles Barkley could today start a podcast.
Facts.
And without question, he already presents as one of them Negroes that has his open enemies arguments flowing out of his mouth. That particular thing sells well now. It's been selling well for a while. When I was years ago, before my daughter was even born, that sort of thing was picking up speed in talk radio. That's why we had these around the time the birth of the Rush Limbaughs. What's the dude name? Gordon Liddy. Like, these people were already this 20-some years back. They was building that market, right? All Charles has to do is just go in there and talk about how much he don't care about what happens to us in our communities because it's our fault and everything. Just do a podcast like that. He'll get a whole bunch of they'll support him. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here.
All right, so I felt like I had to do that one first. I felt because the second part,
right?
Yeah, the second part is what is the story that I actually found for the episode. But I felt like I had to add the first part just to let the people know because everybody ain't really familiar with Charles and his ways.
No, right.
So they might hear the second story and be like uber shocked.
Facts.
Well, okay, let's bring down that shock level. So the second story. Many prominent figures in the sports world, including Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, have voiced their outrage against the decision to not charge Louisville police officers for the killing of Breonna Taylor. The Inside the NBA crew on TNT offered a different reaction on Thursday, led by Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley on Breonna Taylor. Not the same as George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery. Before Thursday's game between the Lakers and Denver Nuggets, Barkley said that Taylor's case shouldn't be lumped in with the killings of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery. He pointed to Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, firing on the plainclothes Louisville police officers that were executing a no-knock search warrant as a reason why. I don't think this one was like George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery and things like that. I feel sad that this young lady lost her life. I think this one was the no-knock warrant is something we need to get rid of across the board. But I am worried to lump all these situations in together, he continued. And I just feel bad that the young lady lost her life, but we do have to take into account that her boyfriend shot at the cops and shot a cop. So, like I said, even though I'm really sorry she lost her life, I just don't think we can put this in the same situation as George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery. Um, Shaq, Uncle Shaq, says, I have to agree with you, Charles. This one is sort of lumped in. You have to get a warrant signed, and some states do allow no-knock warrants. And everyone was asking for murder charges. When you talk about murder, you have to show intent. A homicide occurred, and we're sorry a homicide occurred. When you have a warrant signed by the judge, you are doing your job, and I would imagine that you would fire back. It's worth noting that O'Neill has long expressed an affinity for the police.
So glad somebody mentioned that.
Once even being deputized in the county of Georgia.
So glad somebody mentioned that.
Barkley also dismissed the defund the police movement that has emerged in the wake of killings of Floyd and Taylor. Predictably, such comments were met with a vocal reaction on Twitter.
Were they? Were they?
Okay,
Shocking.
Here's some of the stuff. Here's some of the stuff. Charles Barkley. Another one. I know Charles Barkley did not just say on national television, I'm sad Breonna Taylor lost her life, but we can't forget her boyfriend did fire at a cop first. Please tell me I heard that wrong incorrectly. Charles Barkley said, we can't put Breonna Taylor's case in the same breath as George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery because we have to account for Breonna's boyfriend shooting at the officer. And then he has a gif of the anger feeling from Inside Out. I didn't know I could be this disgusted about Charles Barkley.
You haven't been around much.
People are calling Charles Barkley out for his comments on Breonna Taylor, and the comment says, as they should, Barkley is wrong. Clearly. Here's someone that lines up with us. I don't know why Charles Barkley still surprises y'all.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
What is Charles Barkley talking about? This Breonna Taylor's death isn't like Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. You're right. It's not, because she was at home, asleep in her bed.
Yeah.
The fuck? I just like, why read Braun's very heartfelt tweet about Breonna Taylor, only to follow it up with Charles Barkley basically saying it's sad, but her boyfriend fired first, so Kanye shrugged. Please stop talking about things if you don't have the range. It's okay to be quiet.
Okay, so we once again, it's a couple of things, and this is what I mean by you can tell what people's allegiances are, right?
Yeah.
You can tell when they omit certain things. For one, there were roughly 12 people, right, that were interviewed not just by the police, but also by the press that was down there. And a journalist even brought this up. 12 people. Out of the 12 people, only one person claims they heard the cops identify who they were when they knocked, right? That's number one. So what they decided to do, apparently, is take the one person and elevate their testimony above the 11 other people. Where else they do that at? Where they do that at? That's number one. The other thing about that is for him to omit that and say he shot at the cops first. That means he is forgetting conveniently that dude didn't know they was cops. Just heard people breaking into his fucking house. And in Kentucky, they are very liberal with the.
They have a stand your ground with law.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He did what he was supposed to do under the circumstances. If a motherfucker, you hear a motherfucker trying to break into your house and they not even identify who the fuck they are, he was absolutely within his right to protect his home and the people in his home. And the fact that they didn't even acknowledge Breonna's death in that ruling, because what that one cop got charged with was wanton disregard or whatever, was because of the bullet. Wanton endangerment was because of the bullet going into an apartment, not theirs.
Yeah.
So they didn't even acknowledge what happened to her, which is another way of saying it was cool.
Yeah.
They was good with it.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley and for Shaq to sit up there and toe the party line with the cops out there saying and how they're defining this. I swear, I hope you're never in a situation where they do your black ass this way or a family member this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to hear some old, balding, 4 touchdowns in a single game motherfuckers like you sit up there and be dismissive of what happened to her with some little fake ass platitude about, I'm sorry she lost her life. Bullshit.
Right.
Fuck out of here. But no one should be surprised, as we stated earlier, not with Shaq, because Shaq wants to listen. I know y'all like Shaq. Shaq grinning in the camera. He got that little meme where he doing the little shuffle,
doing a little shimmy.
I know y'all like Shaq. Shaq's a cop in every way that matters.
Facts. No, literally though, not even.
Yeah, right. Every way that matters.
Yeah, literally, he's been deputized.
Because people will say, well, he hasn't really worked. He's been deputized, my nigga, and he's
actually,
always.
I think he did though.
Also, he actually was on the streets.
I believe he did. I may be wrong about, but I'm pretty sure he did.
We're gonna have to talk about. We're gonna have to talk about how this country conditioned its citizens to view cops as saints.
Mm-hmm.
This shit happened over a course of decades, and all the people that's running around here now from the entertainment industry that actually are saying they down with the protests and say they agree that there needs to be some reformation, these are the same people that were instrumental in narrative framing and positioning the cops as heroes and above question, that even when they do things that seems so egregious and ultra violent, it was for a good cause. Dirty Harry. How many Sylvester Stallone movies where he played a cop and was fucking people up? Like, they did this. And the American people are subject to buy into shit that is repeated constantly.
Absolutely.
On all different
forms. Shit, humans.
Humans, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We are creatures of habit. We like repetition.
And we learn from that way. We learn that way. And even you run the spectrum in entertainment and the conditioning. You run the spectrum from the very good Boy Scout cop to the on the edge cop. They got it covered.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like he did what he had to do to get the job done type of mentality that America has bred into its citizens. And this is why you'll find a lot of citizens who seem to be contradictory. In one sense, you see a certain group of Americans talking that liberty shit and talking about how we don't tolerate dictators and tyrants here, and the same people that will run around and talk shit about other countries, about the human rights violations that's happening in other countries, and how people in authority in other countries abuse that authority. These same motherfuckers over here will place the authority figures on a fucking pedestal. And they are above reproach, and they're getting the benefit of the doubt, as if these motherfuckers don't be lying on these police reports, as if we just didn't see 190 days in between when it happened and this situation we have now, where they tried to defame that woman and throw her name running through the mud, as if we haven't seen this happen over and over again, where they'll take a victim of their bullshit and look into their past history and bring up shit so it lessens the sympathy for the person, so that some fuck knuckle like Candace Owens can get on the video and say some shit about he wasn't an amazing person.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to call her name. What the fuck that got to do with anything? You got to be a saint now?
Yes.
Apparently
Absolutely.
so.
You ain't know? You ain't heard?
Fuck out of here, man.
That's the move.
Yo,
I absolutely have to be a perfect person in order to be treated as a human.
I have had it up to fucking here with that dumbass shit. And I'm telling you now, one of the reasons why they continue to get away with this is because they don't see any consequences for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see any consequences for it. Yeah, niggas gonna get mad for a little bit. They're gonna go out there with their protest signs. It's gonna inconvenience us for a little while. But at the end of the day, we not gonna feel no real pain behind this shit. The times when shit does happen is when we make them feel some pain. It shouldn't be that way. And it wouldn't be that way if there wasn't a certain segment of the population here in this country that didn't view us as less than citizens, that didn't have this idea. Like the first thing they should be thinking of, not that, oh goodness, a white cop just killed a black person. The black person probably was doing something wrong and thought, God damn it, some motherfucker in authority just killed a fellow citizen was unarmed.
Yep.
Because they don't see you as a fucking citizen.
Apparently
they see you as less than that. And I ain't even gonna say second class. This is fourth class, baby. In some cases, you know what I'm saying?
Basically,
they don't see you as that. And if and until that happens, like, we will always see this shit happening and see the exact same responses. But what bothers me the most is when you see people who could very possibly have been in that exact same situation, treated that exact same way because they physically present as part of that same group, talking this dumb shit. You're cutting your nose to spite your face, because there's been numerous examples of people that have some notoriety getting abused and getting their rights violated by the police. So you can sit up here all day long with your little blue and white pom-poms and do cartwheels and shoot fireworks and talk about how they have the most dangerous job in the country. They actually don't. Look at the study. Theirs is not the most dangerous. But it's a reason why motherfuckers fuck with firemen.
Yeah.
They don't fuck with cops. It's a reason for that. It's a reason for that.
Yeah. These people, I just can't. I don't. I lack the energy.
But see, that's why we fuss. That's why these episodes we fuss.
Yeah.
Because y'all keep showing your funky drawers to the world. That's what it is.
Bare asses, I would say.
they're bare red orangutan ass. y'all keep doing that shit.
All right, it's time for a discussion.
My wife corrected me. Baboon asses.
Okay,
to the
that's
world.
Fine. Yeah. That works.
Y'all keep twerking with them baboon asses on the internet, on TV.
Yeah. All right, it's time to have a discussion.
Uh-oh.
So, we often speak on ideas such as, we already have examples of something happening. We don't need you to make something up.
Facts.
Because what you do when you do that is you hurt our argument that we're trying to make.
And at the end of the day, it's about being able to capture the narrative.
Yeah.
And not undermine the basis of what that narrative is.
Right. So I happen to find a scenario that's not the most serious to actually have this discussion about.
Right.
All right. So Zendaya wins a bunch of Emmys. You know, here's the headline of the article.
What's the headline?
Biggest upset: Zendaya wins Emmys 2020 over Jennifer Aniston and Laura Linney.
Good. Ain't Jennifer Aniston was running her mouth about the Marvel films? Good. Fuck out of here. Fuck outta here.
The biggest upset of the 2020 Emmys is Zendaya. The 24-year-old actress won the coveted award for lead actress in a drama series for her role as troubled teen drug addict Rue in HBO's controversial show Euphoria. She's the youngest and least experienced nominee in this year's competitive category of industry heavy hitters. Each of this paragraph is important, so I'm gonna start it over. She's the youngest and least experienced nominee in this year's competitive category of industry heavy hitters, each of whom was more expected. Fellow nominees included Jennifer Aniston, Olivia Colman, Laura Linney, Sandra Oh, and Jodie Corner.
What was the first one again?
Shut up. Aside from Corner, Zendaya, who starred on the Disney Channel, is over a decade younger than everyone else in this year's category. Hope is all the young people, she said in her acceptance speech. The actress was clearly shocked and not expecting to win. This is important too, so I'm going to read it again. The actress was clearly shocked and not expecting to win. As the room full of family members behind her danced and shrieked. Euphoria has been renewed for a second season. Now, before we get into this actual conversation, I would just like to say, Zendaya can do no wrong in my eyes.
Okay.
Absolutely love her. She's an amazing actress. Okay. And she apparently just does dope shit. Like, it's just what she does. It is what it is. So, hell yeah, Zendaya. However, I found this particular article on Twitter. And you know how Twitter be. Twitter do. Twitter does.
Twitter be tripping for real.
I mean, all right, so this is the conversation that has sparked. The term upset win becomes a talking point.
Does it?
Let me read some of these Twitterlees. Why label it an upset when it's a celebration? Who is upset exactly? Because
it's a celebration, bitches.
Retweet if you were not upset. Upset, this woman was incredible in Euphoria. No one is surprised. If you watch the show, then you know why it wasn't an upset. Okay. And then here's the most egregious one of these, in my opinion.
Something was egregious?
Listen to me clearly. It bothers my soul. And that's why I picked a fairly innocuous, topic to have this conversation with. Right. Because, I don't want to sound horrible. But this is the most egregious one to me. I know what context they are using the word upset. Let's stop.
Oh no!
You know how this is? I need to find a term for this.
There is a term. It's willful. They're
okay, fine.
Willfully disregarding the fact.
Fine. Okay.
Willful ignorance.
Yeah. I know what context they're using the word upset, but was it really an upset?
That should have been full stop. That should have been. I know what context they use. Full stop. Everything.
Period. Tweet over.
Yeah, tweet over.
But was it really an upset? Zendaya and Euphoria was all anyone was talking about all year. All right.
Hold up. Point of order, sir.
Yes.
I wasn't talking about it. Go ahead.
Okay. Fair. I guess I have to start off with a phrase that I often say, but I feel like I haven't said it in a while because there have been other things going on. Words have meanings.
Wait a minute. Are you serious? Words actually mean things?
I think that tracks.
That's crazy.
I think that checks out.
That's crazy talk.
Again, I need to express this. I understand that this is not a serious situation. That's why I'm using this to have this conversation. Just as we say that you don't need to make up shit because there are examples that exist anyway, and when you make up shit, you fuck with our credibility. This is similar to that.
Yeah.
You don't have to manufacture feelings and victimize.
No,
because
don't.
no. Let me read a couple excerpts from this article again. She is the youngest and least experienced nominee in this particular category. Okay, hold on. The actress was clearly shocked and not expecting to win. What is an upset? Let me
Well,
let me pull up
what is
the
an
word
upset? Webster's dictionary defines an upset.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna look for Merriam. Merriam, where you at, my guy? Merriam. Let me read all of the definitions.
His name is Merriam. Ain't nobody listening to that.
I mean, hey, they listen to him for things. What did I just drop? I just dropped something. There we go. All right. 1. To thicken and shorten by hammering on the end. I have no idea why that's number 1, but it is what it is. I don't
know why that's number 1. That's why nobody listens to Merriam, see?
Hey, maybe. 2, to force out of the usual upright, level, or proper position.
To upset,
or to overturn.
Yep.
3, to trouble mentally or emotionally. To throw into disorder, to invalidate, or to defeat unexpectedly.
Yes.
And 4, just for the interest of fairness, 4, to cause a physical disorder in.
Oh. So
like the food upsets my stomach.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that the way they should have interpreted the upset was that last one.
Apparently.
Oh.
I don't. Oh. No, listen. These people. It's right here. To defeat unexpectedly. You can't have the narrative. We're back to narratives. We can't push the narrative, Oscar's so white. And then when a person of minority wins an award, disregard that same narrative. People don't understand words. And it bothers me more than it should.
No, I'm going to tell you why it bothers you more. It probably bothers you more now than it ever has in the history of your life because you trade in words more often now. And it's usually words in text, but because it is difficult, not impossible. That's the other fallacy I hear people say. It's impossible to determine feelings in text. That's not. We've been doing that with writing novels and books for the longest time.
Clearly, forever.
That's not true. But it is more difficult to do, right? So because of the fact that you have to do this constantly now, and you see people not either understanding that words mean things or purposely, like in this case, that's what irritates you when you see it more often now. And it's like if you had a bum knee and you only bumped into it once a year, most of the year you probably ain't even thinking about that knee.
Facts.
But if you bump into that knee several times a week, that shit's irritating. That's why you're irritated. That's why you're irritated by this. We see too much of this shit. You see too much of it.
It's like,
and this person out and out admits that they understand.
I know the context that they're using the word upset in. Okay, all right. So,
what's the beef? What are we talking about?
Where's your beef? Yeah, I don't understand. It's a combination of people not understanding several things. Number 1, how words work.
Yeah.
All right, fine, sure.
No, hell no. You went to public school system like the rest of us. What the fuck happened?
I mean, listen, who knows? But another thing is recognizing that your world isn't the world. The comment that it's everywhere is relative to your world.
Which is why I said I wasn't talking about it. Because
me neither. I was aware of it. I wanted to watch it, but I don't have HBO.
Yo, I didn't even hear about it because It depends. Like
that's because I didn't get a chance to watch it.
But that's true. That's true. That's true. But people exist in bubbles of interest. So, like in my particular bubble of interest, that did not cross my
right.
That did not come across my desk. So
the only reason I was made aware of it is because of the MCU, because Zendaya is in the MCU, right. And that's really the most thing I'm familiar with her with. So I was trying to expand
more on her.
And I found out she was in a TV show that was critically acclaimed, and I went to try to watch it, and it's on HBO. I don't have HBO, that whole thing.
Right.
So y'all don't know. I mean, y'all don't know how to win. Y'all don't know how to win. There's no reason to be upset. This funny.
Is why we lose.
That's funny. There's no reason to be upset about the upset.
Ooh, bars.
There's no reason to be upset about the upset. It is by definition an upset, given the fact that she is the youngest and least experienced, given the fact that she didn't expect to win herself,
right.
Given the fact that this is still America.
Right.
So it's not necessarily likely that a person of color is going to win these awards over non-people of color. Like,
self-care, this actually leads into another conversation with that. Part of self-care, I feel, needs to be reducing the relevance of things that harm you.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like because it's difficult to do, I'm not even going to sit here and act like it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because we have been conditioned to see certain things as a stamp of authenticity and approval, when we don't get that, or we don't see people that we feel should get, like, that becomes a benchmark that is just accepted as a benchmark, so that you have a knee-jerk reaction. Even me, who I don't watch any of those award shows, I don't, but I have a knee-jerk reaction when, when somebody wins one. That's impressive, because it's been so driven and conditioned. I feel like people who have mostly been on the outs of a society should probably reduce their, as much as possible, their dependency on the gaze of institutions that historically don't fuck with us, because I think all it does is it adds to the PTSD that we already have about a lot of shit over here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it's easier said than done. Of course, I always felt like, if you're still in the spot where all the fuckery happened, it's harder to get over it. Like it is like that's the tree where I took that whipping. Every time you walk past that tree, you're gonna think about that whipping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the cops beat my ass, right there in this alley. Every time you walk through that alley, you're gonna think about when the cops is whooping on that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Every single time.
So it's hard. I ain't even gonna pretend it ain't hard to do, but I just wish we could get to a place to minimize it, because, like, again, we keep going through these changes because of it. Like,
there are so many triggers that exist.
Yeah.
So let's try to mitigate the ones that we can.
Yeah.
That's my point.
That's how I feel. Like, what you want, Cat?
Why is this a thing? Why is it, like, let me see. Does the rabbit hole go deeper?
Oh, it probably does. Yep. And while you're searching, give me 1 second. Keep entertained.
All right.
Come on, boy.
There's somebody else with an asterisk that says well-deserved win. Yeah, but nobody said it wasn't well-deserved. Oh, this is interesting. I'll wait for Tim to get back to actually read this one. But all right, let's see. What is an upset really? Okay, Zendaya beat out. Yeah, this is the point. Zendaya beat out Olivia Colman, an Oscar winner, Laura Linney, a 4-time Emmy winner, Jennifer Aniston, Sandra Oh, and last year's Best Actress winner, Jodie Comer. The toughest race in that category is in a long time, and she did that at 24. That is the definition of an upset. Yes, that is why it's a fucking upset. And here's somebody else who purposely misunderstands.
You know, SBJ, you seem kind of upset.
Oh, shush. Someone else who purposely misunderstands. An upset is the Nuggets overcoming 3-1 deficits twice. This is Michael Jordan beating the Hornets. No, the fuck it's not. Talent-wise, maybe. Mm-hmm. But that's not what this is. Right. Stop being fucking obtuse. But here's the an article that I didn't see until just now. Mm-hmm. Zendaya fans mistake the meaning of upset after historic Emmys 2020 win.
No, hold on. That can't be. You just wrote that.
Yo.
You just wrote that article.
Yeah, no, nigga. Listen, the 2020 Emmys offered a teachable moment for Zendaya fans who were apparently confused by the meaning of upset. The 24-year-old's surprise victory for her portrayal of Rue Bennett in HBO's Euphoria over acting vets such as Jennifer Aniston, Laura Linney, Olivia Colman, Jodie Comer, and Sandra Oh left groupies. They used the word groupie. You left groupies shocked over the New York Post. Oh, this is the same publication that published the first article with the headline. Okay, so this is a clapback.
Yeah,
okay,
this is a clapback all day. Every day.
Where is it? Where is it? The biggest upset. Okay. The biggest upset, Zendaya wins Emmys 2020 over Jennifer Aniston, Laura Linney, blah, blah, blah. Read the tweet, accompanied by a screen grab of a tickled Zendaya, the youngest woman to win the trophy in Emmys history. Again, youngest ever to do. When you break a record, it's not expected. That's not how breaking record. Okay.
So what's an upset?
The youngest woman to win the trophy in the Emmys history, clutching her award. Fans were quick to come to the Zendaya's defense. No one's upset, wrote one fan, garnering more than 1,000 likes on the platform. Hate to see a powerful woman winning an award she deserves, I see. Commenting another less than impressed fan. Some were quick to point out that in the context of a competition, like a sports game or an award show, upset is used to mean a surprise victory, especially for an underdog like Zendaya, who was up against industry heavyweights. There is no hope for humanity if this many people don't know what an upset means.
See, this
said one tweeter.
This is my problem with that tweet right there. You could have stopped earlier. There is no hope for humanity.
No
hope.
This tweeter says there's no hope for humanity if this many people don't know what an upset means.
If shit.
Well, damn, they should have used another word in the dictionary. Well, no, I'm sorry. That was another person responding to them. They should have used another word in the dictionary. Why? It perfectly applies.
Oh, I just got a migraine.
Hundreds of amateur linguists went at it with Zendaya stands over the words multiple meanings and whether the post was underestimating the former Disney's princess performance in the HBO drama. Other internet warriors staked claim in the replies of the original tweet to fight for their Ozark queen, Lenny, among them. Zendaya did a great job, but Laura Linney deserved the award. She was outstanding. Again, neither here nor there. That's a fine opinion, Ted. You can have that opinion, but it goes along with the fact that so many people have that opinion means this was an upset.
Upset, sir.
This was an
It's
upset.
what the word upset means.
It's what the word means.
You colossal
The
dumb
word
fucks.
absolutely applies. You could have used the word in the dictionary. Why?
Yo, I hate when people complain.
Absolutely applies.
I hate when people complain when people use the accurate wording.
Yo, right? Yo,
ain't about that. Yeah.
Let me see. Noun. Let me see, because that was the verbs. Maybe I'm tripping. Let me read the noun definitions for the word upset. Maybe I'm tripping. An act of overturning. Well, this is not an overturned decision, so it couldn't be that. Mm-hmm. Okay. A minor physical disorder.
No, I don't think
That's clearly not what this is. Okay, clearly not what this is. Part of a rod, such as a head. Why do you always say these old ass definitions? Part of a rod that is upset. What? Okay. The expansion of a bullet or striking. Okay. And here we go. An unexpected victory.
So let me give you their argument that they would try to use if they were smart enough, and it still would be dumb. You see how that's like the fourth or fifth definition? That's because people don't use it like that. You know why? Nobody ever make them dumb, because never in the entire history ever this I learned this today.
I learned today that upset meant to thicken and shorten something.
I don't even why that even is called upset, but
I don't fucking know.
Because the average person has never used upset that way. They've used upset in two different ways. The most frequent way is when they're talking about an emotional state.
Your Fifi
was upset, and the second one is, oh no, it was an upset in sports, and they know this. Yeah, this is what makes me. This is what frosts my noogies, right?
Okay, because we'll go for that one.
They know this, man. They know this.
It's depressing.
Hey, sis.
What's going on?
Marissa's in the house.
Oh, what up, sis? Yeah, it
bothers me, man. It
really bothers me.
Like
bothers me so much.
So basically, this is what lead me to. This is crazy because I almost expect for a content creator to be a hyena because they always look for any scraps to make content with. But these people, for the most part, aren't content creators. So you picking this to have a tweet about?
This is the thing. This is the straw that broke the camel's back for you.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand what words mean?
Or because you do understand, but you playing dumb. Yeah. Now, here's the argument. Because it's a chicken and egg thing. Humans are dumb.
Indeed.
And then there are times they play dumb. But if your natural state is dumb,
well,
how do we determine when you're playing dumb or you're just being human?
That's a good question. That's a great question. Well, there are some times where the words can betray you. Like when you say, I know that in this context.
Oh, damn it.
That's one of the ways we can tell when you're playing dumb.
So now, some of these people, why post that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, some of these people, we can't tell if they're playing or not. Some of these people, sure.
But when you say, I don't believe it.
Well, okay, fine. But when you say, I understand the context,
that's a wrap for you. Here. Nothing else you needed to say. Like, that's a wrap for you. The moment you said that, all that other shit after just
anything else you say is irrelevant.
It's gonna make you
that's like no disrespect, but
the moment you say "but," you're about to say something disrespectful. Or I'm not a racist, but no, we about to hear something racist.
Absolutely,
like something racist. Like,
why are we like this?
I can't tell you. I've done extensive research on the human animal, and I have yet to find a determining factor of why we're like this, but I have found evidence of how we became like this or how it became worse. So that's pretty much all I have for you. I don't
These
know.
Niggas don't know how to win.
You don't know how to win. Even when your girl win, you still want to take this L. Listen, when your girl won like that, you know what y'all supposed to do? Celebrate. Do a Shaq shimmy.
Shaq shimmy.
You were supposed to do that and shut the fuck up. Instead, you snatched the L from the jaws of victory.
Way to complain about this.
Yeah, like I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's unnecessary. It's distracting. It's annoying.
I think that's the big thing with me on a personal level. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
But it is an example of how, this is how we lose.
Yes, we don't need to like.
This is how we lose. Like, this is how we
It's
lose.
like, it's like,
right, Greg, take the W.
Take the W. Thank you, Greg. Thank you,
Take
Greg.
the
Oh my
W.
God. Like, okay, so we got to bring it back to some serious shit now. Like I saw somebody say, why? I don't see why anybody would take money for the Breonna Taylor thing. I don't see why anybody would take money when they just going not charge the officer. Listen, hold on, stop.
They can't.
Those are two different things.
They can't get.
Those are two different things.
What the fuck is he
two
talking
very
about?
separate things, and this is what I'm talking about. We don't know how to win. Those are two separate things. I would never take money. Why? They are not the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
They're not the same. They're literally two separate cases. One civil, one criminal.
Now, yes, intuitively speaking, you would think if somebody lost a civil case, then it stands to reason there's a level of guilt. But the way they have the system set up, and I am not condoning the system. I am not doing that. I'm really telling you this is what it is. There are certain things that will not go into the criminal. The way they got the standards set up, there's certain things that you cannot be criminally prosecuted for, but you can absolutely lose in the civil case for.
Yeah.
They have there's a standards for each one.
Right.
So
let me express the difference here, because as much as we may or may not like it, that doesn't mean you don't understand. You have to still understand things.
Yeah.
Right? So the civil win was for the loss of life.
Right.
However, loss of life does not automatically equal murder.
Right.
That is the difference here. That is why in this system, you can win the civil case and there not even be a criminal case.
Right.
Because there is a difference in terms, the legality,
the terms
and the
that
minutia.
They created. This is why I always point to people like, first of all, people should know my feelings about this by now. That ruling was bullshit. To take the word of one person over 12 other people that said, nah, they ain't say shit. That was bullshit. But you still need to understand things. You need to understand that they created a system. This is what people mean about the institutional racism shit. They created a system and created standards. Whole cloth. They got to do that. None of us had anything else to say on that shit. They got to do that. So they're still operating within their system because it benefits them to do so. We, unfortunately, do not have the power to force them to not do it.
That is correct.
Especially if we gonna suck our teeth every time something burn or somebody get punched in the fucking mouth. and we gonna wring our hands every time that happens. You're literally telling people this is an option you don't have access to, because when you do that, we're gonna penalize you for doing that. Yeah. Even though this might be the thing that actually works. This is what makes them scared. It reminds me, Mitch McConnell, and this is a couple of years ago, he was being approached in public by citizens who were pissed at the shit he had been doing. I saw all these people wringing their hands, saying shit like, "That's not cool, man. That man is not on the clock. That man was out with his wife at a restaurant."
Always on the clock. The word public and public servant means something.
Yeah. And you know what? Tap this on to another reason why we lose. This is why we lose. You're not willing to do what's necessary to make the change you want to see. And as long as you keep putting these little artificial mind you, barriers that the people on the other side do not have,
they weren't even asking for.
Right. They will fuck you up
in
your house while you're asleep.
Facts.
They will fuck you up when you are in your house and they walk in thinking or claiming I didn't know this I thought this was my apartment. They will fuck you up in the middle of the street. They will beat your ass on camera. They will put their knee on your fucking neck and take you the fuck out.
Yeah. So let me be clear.
They don't care.
Because so all this is another example.
Up, they don't care.
Yeah, this is another example of not knowing how to win. Listen to me clearly. Listen to me very clearly. Money does not fix the issue at hand.
Facts.
That's fact number one.
Facts.
Fact number two, money will absolutely help your family do better in life.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is also a fact.
Absolutely.
The money is not in lieu of something else happening.
And it's supposed to be in addition to.
It's in addition to. No, matter of fact, let's make it even clearer. It's not even in addition to. It's separate of.
Right. That's true.
It is in this hand. And what happens with the people that committed the crime are in this hand.
Right.
They're separate hands.
Right.
They are a part of the same body, but they're separate hands.
Right.
They don't really have much to do with each other. So let me be clear again. That's funny. Greg said y'all need a How to Win episode. So let me be clear again. To any of my family or anybody that's listening to this that knows my family, if anything should be to happen to me,
talk to them.
Anything in this area where it's police or some racist person, blah blah blah, does this and blah, and I end up losing my life, or I end up paralyzed, or I end up brain dead, or I end up any of these things,
take the money,
and there is a civil suit to be won. Go win that civil suit.
Get the bread.
Get the money.
Get the bag. Secure the bag.
As well as pursue criminal.
Yes.
Absolutely do both.
And the
please,
thing is,
I implore you.
No. This is what you're gonna have to do, because this is what we're gonna have to do. Period. It will be said multiple times throughout the course of my life. From this point going forward, the same way I said, and I will continue to say, if some shit happened to me, and my mama, my sister, my wife, my kids, do not ever, and The Rock means ever, get on national TV talking about you forgive them motherfuckers.
I had that conversation with my mother, and it's not a situation of. It's not a situation of we think you would do that. That's please don't misconstrue.
I'm making my intentions clear.
I just want to be clear. Exactly. That's it.
Do not get on there telling people this is something. If people decide to get mad and brolic at the unfairness of what happened to me, and a little bit of violence ensues, don't be telling motherfuckers that's not what I would have wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want whatever is going to get
whatever's going to get attention to work.
Hey,
do that shit. Do that shit.
100%.
Do that shit.
Clearly, I want to be clear about that. Absolutely.
You 1,000%. Need to be clear in your intent and clear in your motivation. And this is also, Greg is right. We need to do a How You Win episode. We might have to do that. We might have to do that, because some of the ways that we respond to shit, to aggression.
Yeah.
When people are doing shit. That's not how you win, B. They don't respect that shit. Listen, if you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Yeah.
And preferably go ask a history professor.
Facts.
Yo, they don't respect that shit. They don't respect that shit.
Real quick, Marissa said, "Word, politicize the shit out of my name." Absolutely.
Facts.
But the thing you were saying about the history professors, you know what's interesting about that?
What's that, SBJ?
I don't recall. That's not to say that they don't exist. But as far as what I've seen, I have not seen a history person that's on that bullshit. They will tell it how it, because it's one of the things that they love.
Yeah.
They're into the history of things. So they don't tend to sugarcoat this shit.
Right.
Like they tell the shit how it is.
You will find that those people exist because they have a political agenda.
Of course, yeah.
But the ones of them that you mentioned that live that history shit, love history, they don't sugarcoat what happened. Like this is the data. This is what we have evidence for. This is what happened. This is what these motherfuckers did. This is what these motherfuckers did. And trust me when I tell you, like, yo, they don't respect it. That shit, y'all, they don't respect it, yo. They don't. That all that mealy mouth, nah, B. Listen, I saw a meme not a year ago that said it had a picture of the United States, and it had the caption read, "Not stolen, conquered."
Right.
Y'all better stop fucking playing.
Yeah.
They don't respect that other shit, man. They don't.
I wonder real quick. What does Miriam have to say about this?
What, conquered? Conquered means?
To gain or acquire by force of arms.
Right.
To overcome by force of arms, to gain mastery over or win by overcoming obstacles or opposition, to overcome by mental or moral power. Surmount. So here's the thing. Words, right?
Words mean things. Also, sometimes words do not put in the proper context. There is a context here. It had the natives attacked them on their shit, and then they beat their asses for it.
But it goes back to the whole upset argument.
Right.
Why use a different word? Because stolen land goes along with to gain or acquire by force of arms.
Facts. Because think about it. If I go out here in these streets and put that burner up to somebody's haircut and rifle through their coat and take their wallet, I acquired something through force, right?
Of arms.
If I put that 4-5 up to your, if I put that 4-5 up to your shape up,
yeah.
Like, what do you think? Like
Eddie, what up, bro?
And see, this is the problem. Also, what's up, Eddie? This is the problem also with that mentality that was in that meme, because you really, that's where you want to go. So when you walking down the street and you look like you got money, and I run up on you and take that, you. Can I say I didn't steal it? I conquered. I conquered, and I took the spoils of war.
Yeah, thanks.
They need to be careful.
To the victor go the spoils.
Right? And then what they say? Right?
I mean,
be careful with that setting these precedents, because when other people, but see, it's always the hypocritical shit, because when other people use the same shit, like,
I know it's different.
Not to go too far on a tangent, but the other day I shared it with you. There's a video of this woman at this high school football game.
Oh, yeah.
That wouldn't put her mask on. She was asked to put the mask on. She did not put the mask on. Then she was asked to leave. She refused to leave. So the police came and they arrested her. She resisted arrest and all of that. Now, the narrative was that, by her boyfriend tried to set, they arrested her for not wearing a mask. No, they did not. They told her to leave because she didn't want to wear the mask. And when she didn't leave, she was instantly guilty of, say it with me, y'all, criminal trespass. They told you to leave and you didn't leave.
Yeah.
That's why they called the police on your punk ass.
Yeah.
The same people, mind you, her boyfriend comes up to or ex or whatever, comes up to the police station and starts talking about how much he has supported the police in the past and that this is an outrage. All she had to do was comply, B. Ain't that what you tell the stand? See how the standard switch? All she had to do was comply, B. She could have went there. What they tell us? You go down there, you make a complaint. You go down there, you make a complaint that you felt like you wasn't treated right. You ain't had to cuss him out. You ain't had to resist arrest. Him even saying the cop was 300 pounds. He was twice her size, 3 times her size, and she had one hand in handcuffs. The only question I got to ask you is why was only one of her hands in handcuffs? B?
Facts.
Why?
He definitely wasn't doing his job. He's supposed to secure both arms.
Both arms supposed to be secured. So obviously, she was resisting that shit. When they killed my man George Floyd, he had both hands in cuffs.
Yep. And was laying down, prone.
So I'm gonna need. See how the standard switch though. That's how they do with this shit. Every time you start saying, "Hold up," so this the rule, just like this other rule that a lot of them seem to love. That think like that seem to love. Hush, cat.
Yeah, he's agreed. That's your background. That's your choir.
What he wants to do is go outside again.
Well, sure.
That's what he wants. He's a beige man.
Hey.
He's a beige. He's acting.
So he light skinned. Leave him alone.
No,
we're not gonna deal with this colorism on the show.
We might.
Oh God.
But yeah, man, all that shit's crazy. All she had to do was comply. Stop the dumb shit. If you're gonna tell us that all we have to do is comply, and then you running around here going to into demonstrations and marches to defend the fucking police like he said he was doing, you can't then turn around, not comply, get jammed up, and complain about it, and say you was mistreated. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck out of here.
It's the world we live in.
I hate it here.
Well, yeah.
I hate it here. Happy belated Independence Day to police.
Okay.
Oh, did I mention that earlier?
Yes.
I'm getting older.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not it. No, you've always been asked. It has nothing to do with your age. Negroids. These people, man. I don't know
what to do with them.
I don't.
I don't know. All I know is to get away from them.
Yeah.
It's the best I can get away from them.
If I could send like the bulk of them somewhere else.
Yeah, because I actually like the planet. The planet's
dope.
The planet's dope. It's the people. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. Like if I could send like 5 billion of you elsewhere.
Yeah, that's a good number. The only problem with that is if you leave 2 billion humans on the planet, there'll be 7 billion again.
No, that's fine. Listen.
Listen.
What I would do is if I had the power to do that, obviously I would do extensive planning ahead of time and extensive screening. So
you like planning?
It would only be a certain type of people that were allowed. And, honestly, it might not allow me to leave 2 billion. It might only be 1 billion left. But still, there would only be a certain type of person that was allowed to stay.
Yeah, but the problem with that, though, is there'll be the certain type of person that they demonstrate at the moment. People change and grow.
Oh, absolutely.
And
because there's no foolproof way to do it. So I'm just going to work with averages.
Oh, you got to work with what you got. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. I'm just going to work with averages. I clearly, some bullshit is going to arise. It's inevitable. But I'm just going to, work with the law of averages.
If y'all get the chance when in your while you're perusing the internet, go look up Tombstone, the Dead Man song, Cosmic. That song clearly puts the way I feel like, yo, I don't want to. This shit sucks.
Yeah.
Like this shit fucking sucks. I thought you know, and I'm not the only person that thought this. A lot of people thought that having the ability to have the vast majority of people to be able to communicate with one another quickly, faster than at any time in human history, the ability to disseminate information to the largest amount of people ever in human history, we thought to ourselves, how could that be a bad thing? And then we realized very quickly what monkeys
that we're
would
talking
do
about
with that shit.
humans.
Yeah, yo, like what they'll do is they won't just disseminate information, they'll disseminate misinformation at an
Facts.
alarming rate, passionately too. That's the other thing. It's not even this passionate. I think I'll spread. No, they're passionate about the lies. They're passionate about the misinformation. And again, we've said this before. It's one of the reasons why the way I think about a lot of the shit and about accepting, about being skeptical about the things people say to me, because we live in a world where you have people that are altering the truth on purpose. You have people that are accepting of that alteration of the truth because they don't know no better. And then you have people that are purposely spreading the misinformation. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're purposely doing it and doing it not on purpose, the effect is the same. As a matter of fact, I would argue that people doing it not on purpose will appear more passionate about it because they really believe this is true. So they'll spread. That's even more dangerous to me. So because people are convinced, man, just say it strongly enough, say it passionate. People they're convinced by your passion and not necessarily whether or not what you said was absolutely true or not. Yeah. So why do you think punk ass Tory Lanez did his rapidy rap? Because you can convey emotions in music. Like it's intense to be able to do that. So he put it in the song. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the song.
The niggas talking about how good this shit is the defining nail in the coffin for my thoughts on where hip hop is in the mainstream.
Agreed.
For you to literally be like, oh, the message I'm gonna ignore is fire though.
Yeah.
What?
I told you.
You're just going to completely ignore
the priorities are fucked up, yo. The priorities are fucked. Like, yo, I don't give a damn about his cadence. We talked about this early in the show. I don't give. That's not what I'm listening to for. I want, nigga. You said you had some shit to explain. Let me hear what you're talking about. What I hear.
And here's the crazy thing is, people thought because his original tweet or whatever it was, I don't know if it was a tweet or not, but his original statement on it was tonight 9 p.m. Basically, it'll be explained. So people were expecting an IG live.
Yeah, not some weak
and then
ass
put out
attempt.
a 17-track album.
Some weak ass attempt to put some music out and use. See what was happening? People wasn't talking about it as much anymore, and he wanted to throw this shit out there before it was completely out of the conversation. You know, and he brought this up, trying to take advantage of that, and I'm sure it worked for a lot of people because going by some of the comments we've seen about this go hard, so like it worked for some.
I swear, listen to me clearly. I don't care who you are. If I see you on Facebook talking about this shit go hard, you're getting blocked.
Yeah.
No explanation.
Facts.
You're simply getting blocked.
Facts.
I don't want that kind of energy on my timeline.
Yeah, your priorities is fucked up. Your priorities is fucked up. Who cares about that shit? You sitting up here doing an ad for that shit. Who cares about that shit? This nigga said he was going to explain himself. And all he did was get on there and whine and obfuscate and gaslight the fuck out of her. So I don't care to hear anything else on that. I don't care to hear anything else until I see a resolution to this shit. I don't care to hear shit. And even after that, because not like I was chasing his music around and shit. So fuck out.
No. The only exposure I really ever had to his music was when him and Joyner was going back and
Yeah,
forth.
they was going back and forth. That's the same.
I acknowledge that the nigga can rap. Nigga can rap.
He can flow.
Yeah. But that's pretty much as far as I ever went with his music.
Would have bought you a cup of coffee back in the 50s. And that shit ain't that shit. Yeah, I had to alter that because I used to say that a lot and realize, hell no. You ain't getting no cup of coffee with no quarter. Nowadays, that shit ain't happening. Fuck out of here.
No, my nigga. $1.
Yeah, you probably get away with some places. Yeah, probably so.
Some places. Oh well. Looks like another one in the books.
We got another one in the books. Another 30 sack. So
okay.
So yeah, we want to thank everybody that took the time to pop in the show. I'm glad Sis popped in, Addie popped in, Greg popped in, Sam popped in. We appreciate y'all for real.
Yeah.
And your continued participation and engagement is one of the strongest motivators for us to continue to do this. It's kind of crazy how all this shit started. I made a remark on Facebook that we just kind of stumbled into being a podcast network because there was a whole bunch of content that we've been doing. And to be quite honest with you, I was kind of more interested in shaping and bending this into almost like a TV network type of shit, just going online. But it seems like the podcast thing happened organically. So we're going to lean into it. And all of the other types of content we'll do on the side and all that stuff too.
Yeah, it'll still happen.
Will still happen. But that's how we're gonna kind of focus in on this. So it's gonna be a crazy ride. It's been a crazy ride so far. We just discovered the other day the ride hasn't been as long as we thought.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Ridiculously.
Ridiculously short ride that had all the stuff packed up into it. This nigga running around with his camera. So
what happened? This is I forgot to tell the people. This is the co-host for the day, the special guest.
This dude.
What?
Got his Canon R6 in everybody's face. So
I mean silent shooting. Like absolutely like to the point where like I don't be knowing that I took the picture sometimes.
It's nice saying it. It's nice saying it.
Bruh, listen.
Yeah. I understand.
Like I just took a picture, and I'm right next to the microphone, and you didn't hear it.
I get it, bro. I get it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So with that, for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone, the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment podcast network family, we are out.
Peace.